Well, there you have it, folks. We are live again. The crowd was going wild last night when I was the one filling for about 28 minutes. And so we thought, you know what, Tyler? You should fill again. Crowd loves you. And yeah, no one else supported that except for me, and I was the only one who liked that concept. So good thing is I'm the boss, and so I put myself on screen again, because that's how we're going to do it around here. But again, guys, like I mentioned last night, Series E, I like doing this sort of pre-show. I like bringing up topics. Shane Spirits is normally going to be here. Well, actually, maybe not. Who knows? But he's the one that picks out all the talking points for me to talk about. And yeah, so he's not here because he just got his wisdom teeth taken out, so he's still recovering because he's a whiny little baby. But regardless, it's AppleJacks week. And AppleJacks last night actually did fairly well. We started off, I think, game one. Like, they actually won game one, which was pretty epic. So we were like, holy smokes, like, this is going to go pretty well for AppleJacks for the night. They're showing up big time. It's their night. Aves did pop off. He ended up continuing his kill run. He's now at a total of 32 kills for Series E, which is still in second place. He's right behind Pride Kuma. He's got 34 kills, so he's only 2 kills behind. So Aves really did pop off last night. Unfortunately, AppleJacks did not take home the W. They are in 4th place, or they got 4th place last night. And Pringles ended up pulling out the win last night. Pringles, of course, being my pick for season 1, just because I love the fact that Julius Pringle is like a guy on the jersey, and I thought it was one of the coolest looking jerseys that we had at Esports Arena Series E. Shop.esportsarena.com. That's how you can buy those jerseys that you are digging. But regardless, Nightbot, stop breaking down the 4th wall. Oh, that's interesting. We always talk about breaking down the 4th wall. Sorry, I now have a chat thing in front of me so I can actually read the chat. But regardless, they also play on, okay, here we go. Surprisingly enough, it's an open team member leading the kill race. Oh, I didn't know that. So that's why I didn't know who the name was. But Pride Kuma is an open player who's been leading the kill race. So this guy hasn't been signed. Probably will get signed for next season, which is sick. So congrats on that, Pride Kuma. That sounds pretty cool. So having a rank 1 Slayer title as an open player, it would be pretty interesting. Taking Mr. Hakulo. Got something we'll get worried about. The guy took home, I think he did, right? He took home the kill leader last year, or last season. So now he's got some challenging times ahead there. Anyway, moving on. Again, AppleJacks week. Shop.esportsarena.com. That's your apparel. That's where your jerseys. You go to walmart.com/esportsarena. That's where you can buy your AppleJacks, your jumbo snacks. You can buy Intel products. You can buy Razer products up there. You can buy all types of products, but predominantly support AppleJacks this week. Buy that stuff. And also, darn it, I don't think we have it on here, but buy the AppleJacks products. You can get an Esports Arena branded AppleJacks Jumbo Snacks box. How sick is that? And you could take that, scan the receipt, scan the back of the box, and go to walmart.com or scan that, and it takes you to some Kellogg's site where you can enter into Esports Arena's $25,000 Halo 5 tournament. That's sick. It's free for all. So it doesn't necessarily, it's not a team game. So you actually have a chance of just like succeeding. If you can rat, or if you can like get more kills than other people, like you can actually do pretty well in that and have a chance to win the 25 G's for that. So that's pretty cool. I think it just got signed. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, going back to this chat thing actually is kind of annoying because I do want to talk to chat, but then at the same time I got talking notes here to fill and all sorts of stuff. But regardless, one thing I did notice last night is Cooler Nasky is playing on Turtle Club. That's a pug team from last night, Turtle Club, and Cooler Nasky is playing on that. Is that fair? I've had a discussion with the staff here, and of course they are signing up, right? They're signing up on time and they're playing. But is that fair? Because these guys ended up taking home, I think they took up some dough last night because they're that good. So they were like, I think the 3rd place or 2nd place. So you tell me in chat should we have professional players that are currently already being signed by pro orgs to play during the open night? Come on, Cooler Nasky. You're playing tonight, but is it fair? You tell me. Do you think it's fair that you get to play in these nights and also make Esports Arena's teams not look too good? I'm not liking that. On tonight, tonight's your night, okay? But we're still going to take it to you because Turtle Club ain't nothing, all right? Cooler ain't nothing to Esports Arena's pro teams. Team AppleJacks is going to wipe the floor with Cooler tonight. Mark my words. You guys hear that? Tonight, Team AppleJacks is wiping the floor with Cooler. Aves, find their drop spot, just land on top of them, bug them all night long, all right? Cooler Nasky, he already had his time to shine last night. It's not tonight. Guaranteed. That's my prediction. There you go. Okay. Thanks for that. Trying to think of my other talking points we have here. Doesn't matter. Shane wrote a bunch of stuff. So there you go. One thing I do want to talk about that I didn't necessarily ask, or that I wanted to ask to put these guys on here. Did you guys all see Muffins play last night when we had that on stream? We talked about it. What was that? Can you take that full screen so the crowd can see it? Can we take that full screen? Look at that. Let's see if it happens again. You'll see what I'm talking about. What is that? Chat, what is that? Did he just realize that he was on stream and then switch guns? That's a question. I mean, I don't want to spark any controversy here, anything like that. But we saw that cursor going berserker. If you know what I'm saying, that's pretty good, actually. Look at that. Look at that. Chat, what am I looking at here? I'm probably looking at a server glitch. That's what I'm probably looking at, okay? There's a lot of potential issues that happen. Look, it's tough making a game. No offense, EA, you guys are still awesome, right? I'm not throwing this in your face, but it's tough to make a legitimate game withhold everything that you need. And so for something like this, it could just be something that they're making an update on the cursor, or your cursor and the gun could just like not be talking right. Or is that aim assist? Is that hacks? You guys tell me. I don't know. I see Muffins and cheat. You guys see cheats, huh? I hear it. I see it. Huh. Yeah, caught in 4K. Exactly, caught in 4K. That's what this is. You've been caught, Muffins, in 4K. Now, granted, if that is the case, we will dissect the situation. If it happens more than once, we got problems, right? I don't necessarily think that was a problem because, Eddie, can you throw up the leaderboard for me on this from last night? Yeah, I'm thinking it's not, because look at that. What's that, 12? This was last night's, okay? Total Club coming in the money. Team Pringles 69, nice, with number 1 point. But Team Razor coming in at 12. If he is cheating, he ain't cheating that well. I'll be honest with that. So, Muffins, Esports Arena signed player. The guy's a stand-up fella. Definitely would not be throwing any hacks in this thing. But you guys be the judge. So, that's just want to throw that one out there. That was bizarre. That was a little bizarre from last night. And then also, Tom T Squared Taylor, who, I don't know, he's got a lot of followers on Twitter, but he's missing one in particular. He had a little things to say about me last night stepping in for Team Razor. I don't know if you have that clip, Eddie, but if you do, you can roll it. If you don't, I'll keep talking. Talk it out. So he said that Muffins, hacks, getting kicked off the team, but CEO Tyler, that's me, stepping in and will be taking his place. And he said that we were definitely going to be relegated. Team Razor would definitely be relegated. You know, I got to be honest, Tom, that's incorrect. Like I said, I'm going to start playing Apex. In fact, I got home last night, picked up In-N-Out, got home, started playing video games, Heroes of the Storm. Was not Apex, but I will get to it soon enough. I just like Heroes so much right now. I'm on a fix, okay? I'll get there. But I will start bringing Apex back. Been grinding all morning on Apex Legends. As you can see in my Twitter, my response to Esports Arena's tweet, it's funny, it's already got 7 or 6 likes on it. So, you know, you tell me, is that viral? But anyway, I think I'm going to kick it over to Tom Taylor, T Squared, as well as Jamerson, who have the show for tonight. I believe they should be ready, but that's my little 10-minute segment that I got going here. Let's go AppleJacks. Let's go all the Kellogg's team. Let's go all the Esports Arena teams tonight. Let's show these pro players, so-called pro players, what's up in this tournament tonight and take it to them, boys. All right? Let's do this. Jamerson, Tom, thanks, fellas. Take it away after this video and maybe something else that's coming on. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Series E Pro Night Wednesday. Let's go.
Series E.
Series E.
Series E. Apex Legends. Apex Legends.
Series E.
Series E. Apex Legends.
Series E Apex Legends starts right now.
#15th place, which will net you 1 point, and every single kill point will get you 1 point as well. We're typically seeing, of course, the winners walking away with somewhere around 70 to 80 points. And over the course of 6 matches, it's about maintaining consistency throughout the night, Tom.
Yeah, hopefully the sound's fixed now. I don't know what happened for you guys. Hopefully that didn't go through the stream because I heard a lot of different sounds. I'm sure you guys were confused at home, but we'll get that figured out. I'm sure it's not going to happen again. Yeah, so it's pro night and the stakes are going to be a lot higher today. I love the intro about Team AppleJacks getting 4th place because they did win game number 1 yesterday and they were looking pretty good. But Team Cheez-It came through lackluster. Team Razor was struggling with fights against Rockstar. Rockstar looked phenomenal. Tech is playing out of his mind. Pickett's looking really strong as well. And then the way that Crummy was playing, I was really impressed. But then Turtle Club comes through and plays Horizon, throws the lobby off a little bit. And there's probably going to only be 2 or 3 Horizons that we have throughout the night. So we'll see who likes to play like a Crypto Caustic combination. Keep in mind, we have some EU teams in here. That's some of the best play styles that we see. We'll see if it's still meta now that there's been some changes and there's been some updates to the game with Caustic losing a little bit of his HP on his ult that ticks away. But I like the way that everyone was playing, honestly. A lot of these new pro teams that have come through, especially Team Pringles last night, was looking amazing. And a lot of these teams got relegated and came through with brand new rosters, right? So they're coming through with a lot to prove, trying to, when you go and play through the relegation process, you know what that's like, and it's nice to be in there, right? So these guys went through that process for a reason because it's, you know, really important for them to get into season 2 because they missed season 1. So I love to see these new rosters coming through like the Cheez-Its and the Pringles and taking it to teams like Razor, taking it to teams like Rockstar that were looking like the top 2 strongest teams that we had last time. And I kind of want to see these other teams bounce back.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the teams that will be competing today for the Pro Night. Of course, we have our 9 partnered squads. Give us just a moment there. But I mean, yeah, you were talking about the teams that did come in, of course. And last season in season 1, I mean, it was just Razor every single week. They were just so damn consistent that maybe we were 4 weeks in or something, and it didn't seem like anyone really could topple them from the top. But here we are. We do have our teams competing, of course, our 9 partnered squads. We've got Liquid, Na'Vi, we got No Cocoa Puffs team squad rolling through 303 from EU, Sentinels, Third Impact, another EU team showing up, CLG, Cooler, TSM, Season, and Lonely Fans. And so we do have, of course, squads like Season and Lonely Fans having some decent performances, but we'll see if they can really pull something out today. But this is a really tough lobby. There's an opportunity, though. I mean, we were talking about it yesterday. You can expect the 50-50s. And if you're one of these squads that need to be able to like put on some additional points throughout the night and you're in the area, maybe you go for it. Cooler versus TSM should be happening over at Frag East. Does that mean a team like maybe, I don't know, someone can run in and try to get a third party, get rid of two amazingly strong squads in the area?
Yeah, I'm looking for early third parties. I'm looking for teams to adapt and adjust from last week. They're going to be talking strategy. They're going to be talking about things that they can expect similarities going through here. And where does that start with? It starts with flying out of the ship. It starts with looking to see if you have an opportunity to 50-50. And if you do, a lot of times what happens is you don't even have an opportunity to loot more than one building. You grab an armor, you grab a gun or two, most likely you can get two. Don't even worry about attachments. Maybe you get a couple cells on the way out, and then you start dipping over to that place immediately because you're expecting to kill those people, grab their loot, and then finish looting their area. If you need to double back towards your spot, you know what areas are untouched. So I want to see what's going to happen. We know Lava City, like you were talking about, is going to be a spot. So whoever lands Dome has an opportunity for anywhere from 2 to 5 or 6 kills a game. And it's pretty awesome when you're playing the edge and you're making your way down there to just go there and slow rotate all the way through. But you have to be careful because we saw what happened last week with Sentinels just staying at Sorting Factory and just fighting every single team that comes through. And that's just how Sentinels is. So I'm expecting a lot of action to start on the Refinery Epicenter side. We always see teams going at it. Third Impact is one of those teams that constantly fights. So it's fun. The Pro Day is definitely fun and pretty interesting. We've seen a lot more fast-paced gameplay than we're expecting.
Yeah, it's all about kind of setting the pace for the rest of the season, trying to make sure that you secure your drop spot, and not just for Series E, but for the OTs that are upcoming here, and eventually when we get to LAN, settling it before we actually get to LAN. We're still getting game number 1 set up, and we should be in very shortly here, but. Again, it's going to be interesting. So other 50-50s, we were of course talking about that TSM versus Cooler that take place in Frag East. We've got Cheez-It versus Intel going down over at Lava City. But I mean, it wasn't quite a 50-50, but it was a very early challenge on. You were talking about it earlier today. It was Razor versus Rockstar. Rockstar just continually found ways to try and push Razor, especially on the timings after they would take trials. And that became kind of important as Razor were not able to get much going yesterday at all.
I found it hilarious that half the games they fought in the same exact building too. That 3-4 story building that's right by the edge, right by the balloon. And it was the same exact thing where you saw Rockstar get the high ground, make some plays. Really the most impressive thing to me was Tech going and winning his 1v1s or taking his 1v1s or just being a distraction. He's getting at least 1 or 2 players to look away. And once you do that, if you're a pro player and you can get the angle and get some free shots on another pro player not looking at you, that's necessarily what you're looking for. And that's why the game's all about angles, taking fights, taking head glitches, et cetera, et cetera. You don't want to really remain overexposed. And that's why we see Gibraltar and the bubbles be so important. Everybody wants to go lay down the dome and make sure that they're fighting with inside the bubbles. And ever since it's become meta, everyone has really improved in terms of their up-close fighting, their massive shots, the way that they strafe and go inside out of the dome. So it's been an awesome evolution of Apex, really. And I think we're in a pretty good place right now. And let's take a look at what's going on with TSM. And it's going to be Hal actually switching it up. And instead of playing Gibraltar or Horizon, he's going to go with Caustic. We'll see if they get 50-50 off the rip.
Yeah, this is what I'm surprised by. Hal starting it off on that Caustic, but it's NPL taking on Na'Vi. And so we were talking about 50-50s, and it's already started, and the first ring hasn't even revealed itself yet. I'm thinking maybe they're just getting ready to fight a little bit earlier on. Oh boy, Max Strafe has gone down, so it's Nesh and Kuya still up here as NPL. They do have one pin down. It's Gibraltar. They go in. Ronnie and Bambino are out now. Already down to 56 players, 19 squads. As Yeah, they should be able to get strafe up. Oh no, it looks like they might be getting challenged early on. Here's Cheese It though. Does look like we do have a fill-in Murdoch coming in here. As now, of course, this 50-50 will continue to take place, and Cheese It has been winning this out for the large part, but oh boy, Panders has already started it off, taking out Prodigy Aces, fighting into the 3v2 now. This Team Intel, as Prodigy Aces does get thirsted off by 6. And I was gonna say, Cheez It have been doing a great job about taking these fights, and especially with a beautiful spray like that, but he's got almost no ammo left in that R301. Really only has the Mozambique, no hammer point behind it as well, as he's gonna try and secure that thirst, but he hits the 56 before he goes down. Here's Murdoch missing his shots on the wingman. And as Panders in the 1v1, Murdoch has the HP advantage. He knows he has to go for the heals, tries to peek in for the thermite, stops the res, and that's going to allow him to try and push up. He still does not have much HP to work off of as well, as he's trying to peek on over, waiting for that reload, hits for the Eva, but it does not finish him off, and Team Cheez It take the win once again in this 50-50. Rockstar, though, coming in to try and punish Na'Vi.
And I had a feeling it was going to be Team Rockstar coming through because they're aware of that situation that we were just talking about. They're a team that was going over towards Lava Fissure yesterday when they were actually landing. So they're aware of what open teams and what pro teams were over there. And now they have Team Na'Vi stuck inside of this building here. Thermites are going to be on the door. Picket's over towards the side, and Tech doesn't know what's going on because he doesn't have vision because that thermite was so well placed. To be Max Strafe with the original knock, doing a great job of blocking the door and taking angles on Crummy as well. But there's the flank, the kick of the door coming in from Tech, and the grab of the banner too. They should be able to have some good armor swaps and get back into the game right here. But here's Cooler over towards the side on the thermal station area. Another fight happening at a pretty weird spot. I'm curious what team landed over here and why they haven't really pushed over towards thermal to begin with. I don't think their loot's going to be nearly as good as Cooler. Let's try to pull the map up and see where this zone's going to be too, because we do see it looks like Cooler is going to be in the zone. So it has to be more of a southern, possibly a southwest zone.
Yeah, we didn't have that TSM Cooler fight, and so this might, of course, indicate that Cooler just ended up playing quite possibly just over here at Thermal Station. Yuki is on that horizon, ready to fight early game if he needs to, but right now it's all Cooler controlling Thermal. They've got the blue armors as well, so they're continuing their loot path. Right now, though, we're already down to 17 squads, 50 players remaining as Team Razor find themselves in a fight up against Noko's team. They've got the kill onto him with that charge rifle as well. Noob King taking out third impact Ziki. So again, a lot of early game fighting right now as Cooler starting to move out now as a squad on board with third impact. Of course, not far at all from survey camp. The scans come in. Ziki's already been thirsted off. Now he goes in, big connect with the nade, and you can see the full send now coming out. Balon G hits for the 33 onto Noob King, turns around instantly, hits for the 94, misses the second shot, but he's got the rest of his squad there. Of course, Jazaz to help him finish that off. And so they should be able to help recover him. But here come Razor. Wait, what is this squad? We got Monsoon coming in for this. Oh my goodness. All right. So, you know, Monsoon does play with Shiny, who's sibling brother of Muffins here. So, I mean, I guess this is a natural kind of fill, right?
Yeah, Monsoon's going to be able to open up a lot of things for Team Razor. So definitely going to be a much better fill-in than someone like CEO Tyler, that's for sure. Pop-Tarts, looks like they're going down over there. That's going to be 303, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Paradise and Bambino going to be able to get the res over here. Doesn't look like any third parties happening over towards this Geyser side. Geyser always a fairly safe area to fight. Looks like third impact is going to go down, though. That's Balon, and the finish comes through for Muffins. Nice knock there from Mr. Hakulo. It looks like they're still on the chase, too. It was just Jazaz, the last player alive. Looks like he's not going to be able to get Zeki's banner. 3-2. That's going to time out as well. So it looks like we're going to have a Tomcat Rat Cam here very shortly for our boy Jazaz. But this is what we were talking about, Jamerson. Third Impact is notorious for fighting over towards the Epicenter Refinery survey area. And a lot of times it's either if they win, they do great. If they lose, well, that's just how the cookie crumbles, really. So Team AppleJacks over here. And we do have the scan, which we did see Thermal Station was in, and it looks like it is going to kind of favor over towards this thermal area. We were just talking about this yesterday. We've seen so many Thermal Station endings in the last few weeks.
And control of this choke point can be incredibly strong as well, as teams that usually control this will be able to pick up a lot of kill points throughout their mid game and the early game, as well as having access to multiple different beacons to try and pull up here. You can see there's one over by tree. If they need to pivot over that way, there's usually one over here as well on these buildings. But for the time being. AppleJacks slow playing this one out. They had a great start yesterday. We're not able to carry through that momentum. We'll see if they can fix the problems that kind of plagued them yesterday so far. But they're doing a good job of keeping their eyes around. But it looks like they don't have too many people in the rough area. Take a look. TSM are the closest team to them right now that are playing over by the heights. And no one else has found their way into the train tracks. There's just been so much fighting on the edges that I feel like during this mid game, we're just gonna continue to find more fights on the northern side. But speaking of TSM though, take a look. Their situation already looks great. We have the purple armor on Reps, the blues for Imperial Howl, and on Snipe Down. And so just a little bit more poke. They'll have the purples up, 160 damage away from Snipe Down himself, and you got to imagine Hal is sitting in a similar case as well. But TSM, we're just going to slow play this one as we do head into the next round very shortly. 30 more seconds before the ring finishes closing.
The only problem with TSM right now is the fact that they don't have any type of long range. This is a great 3x flatline coming in from Snipe Down, and I'm excited to see him use it, but they don't have any type of triple take. They don't have a charge rifle, scout, anything that some type of Gibraltar could abuse in this type of situation. So they can't really take those type of fights. They're mainly looking for quick skirmishes and locking areas down and just charging up your Evo shields, just like you were talking about. And it's going to be Snipe Down doing the main poking. And I love to watch Snipe Down on Wraith here. I feel like it allows him to be aggressive, allows him to get a feel for the scrims and the tournaments more without feeling like he has to, overextend on a player like Bloodhound or a legend like Bloodhound. And he's going to be able to do some serious damage here. So TSM is in one of these spots where you're looking for a lot of kills, and you're going to slowly work your way in over towards this high ground because they don't know exactly where the zone's going to end. If you pull over towards this side, a lot of times it will favor these houses where Snipe Down's zooming in, or kind of down that zip line on that larger platform over there. Very rarely is going to pull to the very, very back where that giant rock is, and we see a lot of teams like Solifide aim assists locked down, but there's going to be multiple teams coexisting over here, and then all TSM is going to be doing is gatekeeping this backhand tree side, and they're going to have the high ground and all these caustic traps throughout all this. There's a very low chance of them getting third-partied from this area because all the teams in the houses are going to stay in those, and they have to cross across so much high ground. But it looks like Tech is going down, and now there's only one player alive. It's Team Liquid on the chase. Team Liquid Hoagie, man, that's going to be Nocturnal coming through with the BM.
Yeah, it seems like, of course, Rockstar try to go for these timing pushes or try to find these fights and typically train. We saw that a lot yesterday. TSM, never mind, in a fight right now. It's Sentinels right in front of them. Already one going down. That's going to be Hal, but here is Reps with the Beast of the Hunt. He will throw down one more scan before he goes for the repeat, but it's 3 up. He's got to be careful here as he's going to pop a cell for now. Snipe Down is doing a good job of pulling a lot of attention away to the top, but Senox! What was that? Okay, Snipe Down will go down. Here comes the 30 out from, the third party out from Season, but Sentinels are already out. Cheese it. We're able to find one knock throughout all of that, and that's generally what happens. Sentinels end up getting pushed there, but Senox finds one more knock, and he does answer knock for knock there. But what the hell is going on, Tom?
He's no-scoping people from the hip up close while sliding through, just not caring. Are you kidding me? We have to go watch this guy's screen. He's absolutely insane right now. That no-scope onto Reps sliding through when he had the advantage was a headshot. Absolutely ridiculous. And he's continuing to pop off. We were missing some seriously sick kills right there. Joey Blackout, he's going to go down. The third party gets stopped immediately. You do not push TSM up that hill like that unless you're completely confident in just doing ridiculous plays. Sentinels started off how they started off last week, and that is hot, but they are notorious for getting third party. They're down for it, though. They just want to continue fighting.
Yeah, it looks like they were able to recover Retzi, so they'll just back up off of this for the time being. They have control over a building here down and tree, so fast movements coming out from them at this point. But what an incredible turn of events. The third party comes in during their fight up against TSM. They're able to recover. They've got another squad ahead of them. You know what their intentions are. It's all murderous intent. So they're now going in with the scan. Senox still has that Kraber to work off of as well. He's been tagged down 50 HP by the Gibraltar that was holding the door for the time being.
He wants blood, Jamerson.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, they were able to get a scan throughout all of that as well. But here we go. He's got it. 6 more shots left, and he hits the headshot. Oh boy, Aves. Aves, if only you knew, you wouldn't go for that peek. And there it is. The thirst out instantly for Senox. He's already the kill leader in the lobby with 3. Defensive bombardment goes down, as well as the scan now for Senox. You gotta imagine, as soon as he's full healed, he's gonna go for another peek. This man does not give a care. Narrowly misses that one out, but he's got the rest of his squad pushing up. Murdog will fall, and Sentinels are just farming down here.
This is Sentinel's spot. You think that you're going to go over here in a thermal station zone and hold their high ground? This is what they do. They go from Sorting Factory. They go and take that spot. They understand the importance of it. That's big damage there coming in from AppleJacks and Dupe. He's going to have to watch out, though, because the Kraber is going to be coming through, and Sentinels does not care. They're still going in and just bullying everybody in their spot. They lock it down continuously, and they're just the masters of this tree rotation. They fought here a million times. It's one of my favorite things to see is how confident they are taking these fights over here and just finishing these kills off the entire time. It's not just one player on the team. All 3 players are absolutely insane, and their team fighting when it's on point is just so fun.
You know, while the original squad, of course, had Zoms on it, I mean, there was a reason why it was absolutely feared for team fighting, and their, I guess, proclivity to ego challenge everything just instilled fear in everyone. At this point, though, Team Liquid are slow playing this one out, running in from the zone, playing edge on the north side for now. They have been able to pick up a number of kills throughout the way. Right now, just 1 on flanker, but I know that, yeah, there we go. We got 2 on board for Nocturnal. Hotzik might have a couple as well, and this time it's the Kraber in the hands of, oh, the bullet in the head of GS Bird, taking him out. And now Team Liquid continuing their push here, controlling the high ground. They will have a nice safe zone, safe spot in the zone.
It's another really good spot, especially with the Kraber. Unfortunately, only 2 shots here. You're gonna have to put him to use, and already did right there. On to Bird. There's the push, though, and only 1 shot left. You're gonna have to probably bubble here if you're Hodsick. This is gonna be Team Cooler sending it in. Looks like they've realized that they fell, so he's not gonna go and use that black hole, which is a smart play, but huge spray coming in from Sir Dell there with the flat line. They're gonna go and get the knock, and most likely try to push on this. That's going to be a good portal, but that's going to be down to the low ground where a lot of other teams are going to be setting up. Exactly. Rambo's going to finish that one off with the scout, but Nasky gets flanked over from behind. That's going to be Zach Mazer and his squad. Black hole is going to go down. A couple thermites going to be popped, or excuse me, arc stars and the battery, but the push is just too strong. Vaxlon over from the side as well, and there's the finish onto Cooler. Again, we talked about this priority spot. This is going to be CLG going on over here. A lot of teams are just waiting in the wings, trying to rotate. Once they realize these two teams are fighting, they're going to come through, and there could even be 3 or 4 more teams after this.
Yeah, I don't know why there's so much fighting for this particular spot right now. As ooh, nice nade connects coming out. The nade spam is there for Vax. He does force back this squad, and it's going to be ultimately CLG that hold down the high ground. Throughout all of that, there might have been an opportunity for Liquid to recover Hodsick there. I don't know if he got thirsted. Wait, he actually did. He got thirsted by Rambo, I believe. But will they have a chance to try and res him back into this? There are replicators around. We'll see if there's a mobile respawn beacon for them to be able to utilize and get him back to be able to fight as a full 3 for the time being. But CLG, having been the last party here on the hill, they will be privy to all of this loot.
Yeah, and we're going to see where this zone's going to close here very shortly. Round 4 should tell us where it ends, but we predicted across from the platform here all the way on that southwest side, and CLG takes the spot because this is necessarily the best spot that they could get, and they are in the next zone, so it's a hard pull onto the platform actually in front of us instead of the one that's on the opposite side. So a team like Sentinel should have a little bit more work cut out for them if they're still in this lobby, which I believe that they are, holding that backhand tree side. And the amount of armor swaps are here goes to show you why so much fighting actually happened in that vicinity. CLG is one of those teams that kind of waits in the wings again to pounce. And speaking of pouncing, we have some more great shots. This is going to be the weak Team Liquid team with only 2 players, and they're going to finish them off, making it look easy. The R301 3X, the portal down for the loot. Sentinels continuing to dominate.
Yeah, how many shots are left in that Kraber? I mean, it's going to be enough, I would say. We'll see as Retzi Does find an angle on the low ground, has to be careful, and they do have the option, of course, to go back up to the north, but with a minute left, they're not going to have another portal unless he finds some ultimate excels. But at this time, it looks like, of course, Sentinels do not back away from a fight. They are going to continue to challenge, and oh my god! Oh boy, I'm going to lose my breath trying to cast these games with them. They do lose out on one, though. Crust goes down. And ultimately, it's all up to Retzi here. But it looks like with the help of a third party, they survive throughout all of that. Zach Mazer gets that kill onto Rolders. So AppleJacks are now finally out as Sentinels were trying to respawn farm AppleJacks at that point. Here's Razor, though, on the northeast side of the zone. Currently, it looks like a squad trying to gatekeep them there from that high ground as Season Plane finds a knock onto Stunny. So still a lot of fighting taking place right now. Scan there as Monsoon is considering going in with the balloon. Try and pull attention away quite possibly. Do they rotate all the way south, or do they just try to balloon past this choke?
Balloon for sure. You can see everyone posturing towards it. This is definitely a Monsoon Muffins combination play. They're going to try to fly directly where CLG is because there's going to be some fighting over towards that spot. So they're going exactly with the zone here. As soon as that zone hits their back, that's when they're going to be flying off the balloon here. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually go for it. But it looks like they're going to send it past maybe to the outside of the house. You could play the very back end of this house and be safe here, but you are liable for a third party like CLG on that high ground if they are uncontested. So it's immediate bubble coming in for Muffins, most likely a defensive bombardment in the area too. And now Hackula is just waiting 10 seconds for his next scan so he can figure out exactly how this team wants to play. But Crust is in on Phony, and Team Pringles right now are winners from last night. And Sentinels is continuing to rack up some kills here. So Jamerson, this is what we were talking about. They are going to play this backhand side of the building because they only have one entrance to worry about. They have to worry about, obviously, the team coming up over towards the high ground. But as long as one person just watches that door where you see the Wraith standing and blocking right now, they should be completely fine.
Yeah, we're down to 7 squads, 18 players remaining here. Would love to check in with Sentinels to see how well they were able to recover. But it looks like Razor are looking to start finding their inways into this building now. Going in, big shots out from Monsoon as he has the rest of his squad to try and back him up. The bubbles have been used from either side here. Monsoon will look to pop that bat to reset the fight for now. Plane came in from behind, taking out Paradise. And there it is, another member of 303 going down. It's all up to ASCII now. It's a third party came in so fast throughout all of this. ASCII will use that defensive bombardment as Sentinels are coming in here. They want to be the kill leaders. They want to find as many kills as possible. But unfortunately, Retzi is not able to get into his queue fast enough here as Senox will throw down the nades. They pop that res. They've got the fast res going as well. Senox just watching the barrier for now as Crust will push forward with that massive has to fall back, reload as Sentinels. They have multiple teams in the area. Razor are trying to get involved in this fight as well. So with Retzi down now, the numbers advantage is going to be here for Razor to try and take advantage. They do thirst him out. You got to be careful, Hackula. One peeking from the right. He's already dropped down to 75 HP. But it looks like he will be able to back off. They still need to get Monsoon back up throughout all of this. Right now, it looks like 303 have been finished off as well. Zach Mazer finding that. Now the ring closing in, and every team basically just griefing each other here. And we're already down to 5 squads here as as Razor do get finished off. It's Sentinels still alive with Senox there. 4 squads, 7 players remaining. Senox trying his best to stay alive, but Pringles with the solo in Fury are able to finally put a stop to Sentinels. But now with 2 squads remaining, it's going to be Fury in a 1v3 here for the final fight. Does he have the tools there? Not quite. It's a 301 and the 30-30 repeater. It's going to be CLG to take game number 1.
Well, the importance of the high ground shows right there. CLG watched all that fighting happen down at the building. They didn't want any part of it. They just kind of stayed back, tried to pick up kills from long range. But can we just talk about Sentinels and how disgusting that run was, only to be shut down by the solo rat over there for Team Pringles when they already got Phony a little bit earlier. But what a game overall. Sentinels really putting on a show.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what we expected a lot of times in the past when we were talking about Sentinels. It wasn't about placements for them. It was just being able to match up on the leaderboard off of sheer fragging power alone. The majority of their points, typically it's like a 50-50 split, right? Placement points and kill points. With Sentinels, you're looking more at like 30-60 in terms of splits for points. But we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, we'll have game number 2 of our Pro Night for Series E right after this.
Love the team name, completely nailed it. It's Aves, let's start with you. Go ahead and just introduce the team, and of course, tell me why you guys formed as a roster, how long you've been playing together, and what made you guys try out for Series E.
Definitely. So I think we formed back in the Xbox days. We had a little bit of a scrim group on Xbox, Dawn of Legends. Shout out to people in the chat who used to play before Devo took it all down, unfortunately. Went to PC. Rollers and I played with a few other subs, got our hands into comp. It was fun. You know, a lot of people crying about, controller and, console kids coming over, and I loved it. So I kept on playing. We found Dupe as a pickup for what you would say like autumn circuit, maybe end of summer circuit.
Okay.
Found a lot of success with Dupe in our play style, which is, shoot first, ask questions later. Made a bunch of finals, made playoffs, and that's why we keep sticking together. Hey, what's up? My name's Daves.
My name's Duke.
My name is Rolders
I play Apex Legends
for Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks, and you're watching
Series E.
Series E.
Series E. Hey, what's up? I'm Aves. I play for Team AppleJacks and Apex Legends, and we hit all of our shots. That's how we do things. These are actually pretty good. I've never had these before. Hey, what's up? My name's Daves.
My name's Duke.
My name is Rolders
I play Apex Legends
for Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks, and you're watching
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Put the bars in the breaks. I'm talking one chance that was so close for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind and shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
Is a good time to eat jumbo snacks?
Where do I think is a good place to be eating AppleJacks Jumbo Snacks?
Where are good places to eat AppleJacks?
On a walk?
In the Uber.
When you're skateboarding.
In the library.
On a scooter.
Kings Canyon and World's Edge when you get sent back to the lobby by Team AppleJacks.
On the bus.
At the mall. At your parents' house. At the park. Getting your oil changed.
When you pass Jump Master to your teammates, let them fly in for you, because that's what I always do.
At the bank, on the streets, at the dog park.
A magic carpet, an Uber, a bus ride.
At the farm, in your barn.
When I'm landing on Team Rockstar, because I only need one hand to take them out.
Tree's a good spot, because you get sent back to the lobby from us.
Little Timmy wants to land at tree and just gets sent back to the lobby immediately. Probably going to go rush to his mommy to get some AppleJacks. So,
in a parking lot, at your brother's birthday party, at your own birthday party, breakfast, lunch, dinner, eat them anywhere.
Hey, what's up? My name's Daves.
My name's Duke.
Hey, my name is Rollers
I play Apex Legends
for Team AppleJacks,
Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks, and you're watching
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
Aha. All right, guys. Welcome back to Series E as we are getting ready to head into game number 2. Let's take a look at the Mobile One High leaderboard, to see who is currently leading here, because it's still a pretty tough call to make there, as CLG ultimately with the plus 12 will eke out a lead currently, but it's only 3 points up above Sentinels, who, by the way, went down in like 4th or 5th place. So they fragged out, to say the least there, Tom.
Yeah, imagine if they were able to finish that game off. They would have picked up so many points overall. Probably saw like a 30, 35-point game. But that fight inside the building over towards the opposite side of the train tracks was absolutely insane. I think it was about 4, 5, 6 different teams. CLG comes through, swoops through, and a pretty decent amount of kill points overall, too. I thought CLG could have even been in second place after seeing how much Sentinels popped off. But when you look at these first 2 teams, it doesn't leave a lot of points for the rest of these players to go and grab up. So pretty top-sided. And we'll see if CLG and Sentinels can pop off again in a different game. Keep in mind, these 2 teams land on complete opposite sides of the map. CLG is more of a skyhook team. They rotated over towards that backhand high ground. Sorting Factory is where Sentinels goes, so they came over towards the tree side and made their way down. Let's take a look at the Mobile One high-performance moment of the previous game.
Yeah, and, this was the absolute cluster that was, well, this fight. So many teams got involved so quickly. It was 303 Razor Season. There we go. Clean coming in, and of course Sentinels pop in and ask, "Hey guys, what's going on over here?" And it was just, yeah, no better way to describe it than an absolute cluster, as 303 were trying their best to recover at this point. I believe it was Retzi that was the first one to go down throughout all of this, narrowly missing that Q. If he had survived throughout all of that, I feel like Sentinels actually live. They do get the fast res onto him, but the fact that he still has to reset into this fight, he's lower HP, he's not fighting as strong as he could, meant that ultimately that Sentinels lose out on this one. Razor just biding their time were able to take advantage of all of this.
Yeah, it was ASCII barely clipping him over towards the side, and then it was the finish from Muffins over on towards the ground and make sure that they didn't get the res off was absolutely huge. Senox was able to skedaddle over towards the side, but he gets taken out by, I believe it was Fury from Team Pringles that was sitting in between the stairs, which allowed them to get those extra placement points and kind of work their way up towards the lobby. So that's another good sign for Pringles, even though I think they were just playing as a 2-man squad right there. They were still able to accumulate some points and then rat it out and get a little bit over towards that leaderboard, because all the points were fairly scarce based on the amount of kills that Sentinels had. You can see Senox there sitting at 6 kills before he gets taken out by, I believe, CLG. No, again, it was Fury. So yeah, CLG came over towards the side here and then cleans things up. But it was another good game for Zach Mazer too. Zach's been playing phenomenal. We were talking about him a lot last week. And yeah, again, a very nice job, again, by a lot of these teams that made it to this zone. This is an absolutely brutal zone. We saw the way that a lot of these teams were able to get over there, like Team Razor. It had to be a balloon play, and that's not what you want to do. You want to make your way up there and find third-party opportunities like CLG did.
Yeah, and ultimately, when we do have these circles, we have to keep an eye on Sentinels, who do tend to push the action here and push every team that's in the vicinity, as they just kind of dwindle away the numbers to be able to have very high finish. Of course, great job by Senox finishing off that Razor squad as they were rotating in through the zone. That does secure him. It was 2 more additional placement points along with the kill points as well. And so right now, Team Sentinels, despite not coming in top 3, they do secure 20 points overall, 3 points down from CLG as we're getting ready to head into game number 2 of the evening here. And we're going to be expecting a lot more of this, a lot of early game fighting, a lot of mid game fighting, and then every team just aping on every single fight in the late game.
I love the way that Sentinels plays Apex, and it's not like they have been new to this type of style. It's just, it seems like when Series E started in Season 2, that they kind of took it to a whole nother level, and they refused to slow things down in this meta. And really all it shows is the amount of confidence that they have in their individual skill and also their teamwork and communication. It's kind of just natural for them to go through and play aggressive, and you see how confident they are in terms of, hey, if I go up there and I'm in a 1 versus 2, I can do that because my teammates have at least weakened these players, and it's not necessarily a 1v2 in terms of how much HP we have. I just have to, kill 2 people. So I think that the way that they force the action, it opens up a lot of what's going on, makes the game a lot more fun to watch. And really, if you're able to play like this and instill fear in the other teams, that's what we're necessarily looking for. And we saw what happened with TSM when you don't have a gun to back aggressive players off. Because a player like, Senox or a player like Retzi, they'll actually portal towards a fight and take the fight directly towards you. So if you're not able to poke at them with a triple take, with a charge rifle, anything like that, and keep them back, nothing's going to stop them from getting close to you.
Yeah, and there we go. One more look at the Mobile One leaderboard. CLG in first place with 23 points. Sentinels fragging out in game number 1 with 20 points now. And Team Pringles, that's the other thing we didn't really touch upon. Team Pringles, we saw them yesterday, of course, and we were talking about it last night as well, dropping over at Sorting Factory. They don't have that option anymore. So, if you're getting a little bit of revenge, or I don't even know what to call it there, for not having that drop spot. But hey, they were still able to survive even as a duo there until the late game. So that puts them in third place with 10 points. And like you said, Tom, because CLG and Sentinels just had massive number of kills in that first game, that didn't leave too many points on the board. So we're seeing a pretty stark difference now on the leaderboard. There's a 10-point difference between Sentinels and Pringles, and the rest of the lobby still sitting there in single digits. But it was just game number 1. We still have 5 more games to go, and it's all about consistency here. It's about making sure that you're putting 5 to 10 points on the board every single game to keep yourself within reach of that first place position by the time we get to 4th or 5th game. And we'll see if they have enough gas there in the tank. Sentinels, sometimes we do see them kind of falling off and not be able to carry this kind of momentum, carry this kind of high-paced game style.
Well, they also got a little lucky down at the bottom of Thermal Station too, where they got in that team fight and the third party comes. But I would say Sentinels is a more unlucky team than they are lucky. It was kind of refreshing to watch them play this aggressive type of play style and not get third partied, or maybe they're the team that gets saved by a third party, because a lot of times they come through, they win the fights, and maybe one guy will get knocked throughout all of this after they win their 3rd or 4th fight, and then they get sniped from the side and one of the players gets finished as they're like getting the res. So Sentinels, if they're able to finish fights off faster and continue to improve and just continue to play aggressive, that's how you get through and even get to this point to begin with. A lot of these players started with pubs before there was a rank system, and they throw themselves in the craziest situations possible so they can get out of them. And that's what Sentinels does. They push Apex Legends to the max. They see how aggressive they can get. They don't even care what type of team you are, and they're still going to send it to you overall. But CLG ended up winning last game with the CLG type of play style. Take a priority spot, take some fights. They have these checklists of areas that they want to go and hold based on where the circle is and based on where the other teams are, and they have great timing when it comes to third parties. So I feel like that's what CLG's specialty is, and they're playing a good game, especially with Zach Mazer coming through and playing on Wraith. He's been, again, a very, very solid player in his own right, but coming in and subbing for Madness is not easy to do.
Here we are, heading into game number 2 on the board with the winners of game number 1. It's CLG. Of course, in game number 1, they had the farthest rotation really to work out, as the ring did pull all the way down south towards Thermal Station. They were able to play the edge well, control some very key positions throughout the mid game. On board with Team Intel, who have been getting into the 50-50 fights with Cheez-It. And it looked like both teams last time, it was super close. We had Panders. If he could have just healed up at all, there was some time where he could have tried to heal. Unfortunately, all he had was syringes. And he almost took the fight in that 1v1. And we'll see, though, how this one works out. Currently, though, it's Cheez-It taking the eastern side of Lava City. And it's kind of interesting seeing the development of this 50-50 as it's been going on, that it was Cheez-It that would usually control the western side of the town, and now it's been flipped, where it is now Team Intel controlling the western side of this town.
I think the west side of the town with the high ground is where you want to be, because when you are on the slow ground, you have to cross across this just brutal field of open area and then make your way up, and that's just never the play here. So that's why you see they're not really interested in charging across. Right now what you want to do is try to get some armor checks, get some pokes, and then if you feel like you're not confident, you can easily just back off over towards that northwest side and make your way around without having to fight. So they do get the armor check on the Panders right there. They actually rip them pretty decently. So if Panders doesn't have a med kit, he actually does. And that's going to be a big deal. But a very nicely timed Arc Star stops the healing. And then a scan is going to show that he hasn't had an opportunity to push yet or heal. So the push could be coming through right now.
Yeah, that allows them the opportunity to try to set up a crossfire, different approaches, angles of approach coming out from Team Cheez-It. You have NPL taking on, I believe it was Third Impact as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Excuse me, Na'Vi. That's a 1-for-1 exchange in that fight. Intel here, though, they do have the high ground, and it looks like they might have forced back Cheez-It, or have they gone forward? And there it is, Arcstar out, and it's a full drop coming out from them. This is the problem that we saw Intel get into. Accidentally giving up the high ground here when they think they had the position to try and pounce on a squad. So now it's going to be Cheez-It here from the high. Nades coming in. Bubble's already been used. And that's a bubble you really want to save, especially when you're trying to make this elevator push. Oh boy, Panders goes in first, goes down low, is going to queue here as the rest of his squad shows up to this level. Here's Metro holding down the elevator shaft with that massive. He will go for the push. Hits for the 11, does not get a knock. Gets hit from the left-hand side. Pander still needs to heal up. 6 is on the roof by himself, throwing out barrels. They try to pop it as quickly as possible. And it's going to be a reset on the fight as 6 is now down on the low, healing up with cells at this point. We have a number of fights going on here, as well as Blueberry Smalls gets a knock onto Tech. So Rockstar in a bit of trouble. Here's Prodigy Aces finding his flank. It's the full roof control out now for Cheez-It as the scan comes down from Murdog. He's going to have the Beast of the Hunt as well to have additional scans to be able to use here. And again, this fight is so protracted. You always have to worry about the third-party attempts now.
Yeah, Joey Blackout's doing a great job of zoning the timing with the grenade on the stairs so his teammates could heal. The barrel at the top there, too, very well timed, very well placed, is basically allowing the rest of his squad just to slowly get back into this one. If it wasn't for Joey on Caustic right now, I feel like the rest of Team Intel would have been advancing. So the zone power of Caustic and now the Nox gas grenade is going to be there. You also had Murdog with a well-timed Beast of the Hunt immediately when it came up so he could hit the scans in the most dire situation. But you're spot on, Jamerson. The roof control is huge, and I'm curious why Intel flip-flops like this. It was that initial damage that came down, which was a big deal. But there's the Caustic Nox gas grenade. That's going to cause the defensive bombardment over towards the back. It didn't land how they were hoping for, and these barrels aren't going exactly what they were hoping for either, as Team Rice Crispy Treats is going to be wiped out by Rockstar on the rotation over towards train side. We see Rockstar go over here fairly often, but there's the 50-50 still happening, and I'm shocked that the teams from Dome aren't here yet.
Yeah, still no third party coming in. It's going to be Intel to get the first knock. Prodigy Aces does answer back as, oh no, 6 is caught reloading there, does go down. It's all up to Metro here, who does get the knock back. But once again, Murdog comes in for the clutch, keeps Cheez-It in this, and Intel are now 0-2 on this 50-50.
And both times it's Murdog is the last guy alive, playing it safe. That's what you want to do as Bloodhound. You can't be the first person to really go into those because you're just so vulnerable. You really hope that the rest of your teammates on that Caustic and on the Wraith are able to do something. But we see where the zone was. We see a couple of teams rotating over there. It's going to be favoring over towards that Epicenter Refinery type spot. And TSM, that means it's a very easy rotation for them. So Third Impact most likely going to be getting another priority spot as we see what Lonely Fans was doing. Lonely Fans was one of the players that Blueberry Smalls picked off Tech. You can see has 117 damage, got the pick with the 30-30 across the map.
Yeah, they weren't able to follow up on it, though. Rockstar able to recover when their fight out up against Rice Krispies. And so we'll see. Right now, though, with a lot of teams now moving into Frag East and Frag West, we have to wonder if teams have been in position to maybe quite possibly play the chokes. And here it is, one choke being held down over by Train Yard. So this could be Rockstar catching them out on the trying to use a replicator there. Nice shots coming out from Noob King as Sentinels have lost out on one. Rollers and Dupe able to finish off Crust here and trying to get a little bit of revenge up against them. And so it was Sentinels that were trying to play this choke. I believe AppleJacks came in with the flank. 303 were in front of Sentinels throughout all of that as well. And it was just a nice third-party lurk coming out from AppleJacks to be able to get that kill. We'll see if Sentinels can recover this banner. As you can see, Crust's banner is right there. They have a port right on top of it. Will Retzi come back for it, or will they just play this one out as a two-man?
Find out here very shortly, but I do like the idea of playing this choke we'll have to advance eventually, but right now what you're doing is you're just gatekeeping everybody over towards your back. You have to wait before you can rotate, because otherwise you're going to end up getting sandwiched. You could get sandwiched from about 3 or 4 different spots. The teams from Fragment are going to hold you out. There's a team over towards your right now and the other choke. And you never know when teams are going to rotate over towards that train tunnel. So they're actually going to get a little aggressive without watching their back here, which I hope that one person is at least sitting back there, but this could be a portal play from Aves coming through. There looks like he's going to be the one to lead the charge here. The rest of his team is going to follow up, as Serdell is going to get the knock and finish onto Tex. Second time Tex been down. See if Crummy and Pickett are interested in trying to get back in this one. Looks like they're dipping out.
Yeah, the scan out as they will move through the tunnel now. Not able to recover Tex Banner, unfortunately. Of course, he was the one on that Wraith. He's the one that has the mobility. And so they're just going to have to play this one out as a duo with 70 seconds left to go. And they're even going to have the gall to actually pop the vault for themselves. Not great at all.
Worst vault ever?
Kind of is actually garbage.
What? Did they nerf? Did they nerf that, or what's going on there? That was absolute hand-me-down loot in the vault.
Yeah, you got all the purple attachments on your R9 though, and as you can see, the crafting is being used, and that does give them information that the squad is still there. So you got to use everything. Right now though, AppleJacks, they have made their way through Frag West. They are currently playing over by Market and Broken Building. It looks like they will cross over to the bridge for the time being. No beacon in the area for them, unfortunately. It doesn't look like one spawned on Frag East. And so they'll have to just continue to play this one blind, but we have a general idea of where this one's going to pull. And I'm so surprised, by the way, that this game has slowed down massively. It's the second zone, and we have 17 squads with 49 players remaining. Not quite the pace that we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, because Sentinels hasn't found the team fights that they were looking for. Otherwise, they'd be running through, just mopping everybody. Team Cheez-It makes their portal play. Looks like this is definitely going down. The Thermite is going to hit the door, but Proj Aces looks like he's burning himself just a little bit, too, on the opposite side. He's going to take 25 of his own damage. I don't think that counts towards the damage counter. He's going to be able to take a nice little angle through the window, though. Not easy shots to land. Does a decent amount of damage on that Bloodhound, but this is going to be a tough fight to take because there's going to be a lot of teams in the area. There could be teams on Fragment side. There could be teams rotating from the Hill and Epicenter, and there is going to be a fight with Third Impact and Pringles. Pringles gets wiped out there, so our third place team, who got second place last game, is going to be taken out in 17th place.
Yeah, here's Cheez-It though, moving out of the no name now, and they're going to swing very far to the west and quite possibly just come into Frag East here from the south. There is a squad in front of them. Murdoch does have the scan. And we'll wait till he gets closer to the building to use it to get better coverage because there's so many buildings here. There's a full squad in front of them as he hits through the window with that flat line now. And you have Joey Blackout controlling the outside as well. He's taking a lot of damage though. And he's going to be forced to bat. And that's AppleJacks now turning it onto them. But instead, they elect to play this a little bit more cautiously. They pull back into their building. We'll try to control the chokes here as Duke goes for the peak with that Gibraltar. See if Joey Blackout has that Nox gas grenade or something to really try and take advantage of this entire situation here. As he goes up, catches one in the bat, watching that for now, pulls out the wingman, and he will go down. Proj Aces does answer back, taking out Dupe. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange, and it's Team Cheez-It who have the advantage. Report out from AppleJacks to get out of that fight and try to get the res onto Dupe. You do have the scan coming in as well, but the counter scan from Rolders will stop the push on top of them. Bambino comes in for the re-knock on to Joey Blackout now as 303 are looking to get aggressive. ASCII through the window is able to get that thirst. So throughout all of that, it was AppleJacks that do survive and Cheez-It that get punished.
Unfortunate there for Team Cheez-It, but their buildings seem to be a little bit more vulnerable. Like you said, that window peak was so difficult to go and try to predict where that shot was coming from, but 303 with some really nice shots. Also, the lack of knockdown shield is a pretty big deal as well, as AppleJacks is going to be able to full reset and know that this team is weak now if they want to go and try to approach this fight, but they do have to be careful because they know which teams are waiting in the wings. Team Liquid just down to one player. It's going to be Nocturnal. He's going to be trying to just give him a little monsoon dip dodge and dive over there as Crust is going to take out one player from Crummy, and Noko is going to get the finish onto Knock. But let's talk about this team really quick. Tanner, the legend, Tanner Slay is coming through into Series E, making his first showing here. Big fan of Tanner. Make sure you guys check him out. I've actually teamed with both Noko and Tanner for tournaments, so this is a fun team to watch.
Ooh, looks like Rockstar might be on their last leg as Crummy does go down. 303 picking that one up. But yeah, having confirmation as well. So Sentinels were able to get Crust back into this. And while this might not be as fast paced as game number 1, Sentinels still have a relatively full lobby to get through. At this point, we have 41 players remaining, 15 squads left. As the third round, we still have 1 minute and 30 seconds for this ring to close. But this is the one where, yeah, you want to play in this position that AppleJacks are currently at right now. They've got the high ground to the north of Fragment East, and they do have the weapons to work with it. The Wingman R301 for Aves, so he has that mid-range, long-range combo to try to find kill points, as NPL now find themselves in a fight over here. Frag East, Bambino is stuck in the middle of nowhere, using that bubble, has to try and pop that Phoenix kit as AppleJacks are trying to hold off this push coming out from Season, but Kenny will pick off 2. It's all up to Dupe here. He's got a sliver of that red Evo shield, throws down the thermite, but the numbers advantage might be on the other side. Oh boy, here's a third party coming out from Razor as Muffins is able to pick off Rambo, and AppleJacks are out. Season plane's gonna go down as it looks like it was Stomps that ultimately picked that one up. Pop-Tarts and Razor coming in for the third party. Here's the push out from MPL though, making their way into the train station building, and looks like they'll be able to hold it down for free. That team just absolutely backing off, playing over by the diner building now.
This is exactly what we're talking about, Jamerson. There's so many teams in the area. We even called out exactly where they would be without seeing on the map or seeing exactly where these players were, because when you see these zones, that's the type of spots that players like to hold, and they pick them for a reason, because there's kill opportunities from all these different areas where teams end up fighting and they don't expect to get picked off from. NPL with a nice rotation coming through, and NPL's had a pretty unorthodox play style, and they have another unorthodox composition running the Wraithless comp. Ronnie's kind of bounced between a couple different legends. We saw him on Wraith in Season 1 doing some phenomenal jobs. Nice shots there coming in from Dracos. But we'll see what they're able to do here. This is one of those spots, again, where you're trying to hold it off. You're looking for kill opportunities, but there's not going to be many without a Wraith here. You're basically looking for third parties, and you can't do that without the portal. TSM, they have Wraith. It's going to be sniped down, reps, and Hal over towards the top of the epicenter hill. Again, another team is Team Pop-Tarts on the opposite side of this hill too. So this is another one of those spots where you're just looking for kills from all these teams at Fragment.
Yeah, they know how to play this position, of course, coming out from Fragment East. This was an easy spot for them to hold down and camp early on, as the zone is closing in here for round number 3. They do have the squad kind of pinned down, but they do have a horizon, so they use that mobility to try and cut the distance a little bit and get themselves to safety. So they will be safe for the time being, and as you can see, the pings do come out. Rockstar are still in this. Matt Pickett ratting this one out as the first Tomcat rat cam of the game currently. Matt Pickett has been scanned throughout all of that, but who has the opportunity to try and go out and exterminate this rat? It looks like it's a free kill point, but sometimes it can be to your detriment as you get caught out trying to thirst for him.
Yeah, you got to have your Tomcat hat and jersey on if you want to go and try to find Matt Pickett and take him out. He's doing a nice job over there. Razor, again, in the zone here, too. It's going to be a pretty explosive end game here based on the amount of teams that we have. We've had fairly fast-paced games in the last week, and this is probably the slowest game we've seen in Series E in Season 2 in quite some time. So it's going to be fun to see exactly how methodical everybody goes about this one. I'm not quite sure which team is on the opposite side of this giant icicle here, but there could be a good chance it's TSM. I thought I saw the outline of Gibraltar, though, and we know that they're not rocking Gibraltar. It's going to be Nasky with the Spitfire, just taking down Monsoon with the finish as well. Meanwhile, Nesby Curlife from the train area is going to get a knock on a Noka Puffs. Looks like the rotation coming in for Proco is going to be not working out too well, as Ballon actually gets a 30-30 knock on a Snipe down too. So now third impact goes in on TSM.
Yeah, wondering exactly where third impact were to take advantage of TSM now. I believe Reps is the only one left up for TSM. We still have 12 squads remaining, and he was able to get the res onto Snipe down at the very least, but they lose out on Hal. No chance really to try to go for a res. I mean, they do have that replicator they can pick up. We'll see if they can. Snipe down is on that Wraith, but he does not have his port. NPL continuing their fight over here, controlling over by the train building, and that team, they've used their bubble in the middle of nowhere. They can fall back behind the fence as it looks like they're going to try and port out. Good pivot out from Bambino as he does notice that there's a squad behind him shooting as well. Not all of the CLG are trying to punish TSM, but it's TSM coming back. They bring it down to a 2v1. Snipedown gets the thirst as well, but NPL are continuing their push. Now they get the knock as the door is left open by Prodigy Aces, who try to go for an ego peek, and he gets absolutely punished for it. NPL go for the full reset. Dracos will use that gravity lift to challenge the high ground and force him off, but now he's taking so much ring damage. They took way too long to try and take this fight, and now NPL are getting punished. This squad is going to try and back away with that port. The defensive bombardment going down as well. On the other side of this portal is going to be a full squad as Ronnie gets the first knock on the Blueberry Smalls, but NPL will fall. Lonely Fans survive. But at what cost? As Blueberry Smalls does go down to the ring. We're down to 6 squads now, 15 players left.
The only way that you can win from this spot is you have to get directly underneath that ledge there. They're sitting on the blue boxes. That's not the play. You have to get under that mountain and just kind of hide there, hoping that nobody chucks grenades. So unfortunate rotations is all the teams, again, holding these high grounds over towards Epicenter. We're just waiting for that opportunity to grief. All the teams that had to rotate over towards the Fragment, they know how much everyone's going to coexist over there. They're waiting for them to wait and just run into the open. So very nicely timed play coming in for Third Impact. I'm really curious what the rotation was to even get over here. But Pop-Tarts, nonetheless, is another one of those teams that, again, was holding the high ground, waiting for their opportunity. Cooler's still here, too, who's been playing the slow edge of the zone here. Kraber in the hand of Yuki. He may be able to get some peaks with the grab lift, too. This should be fun.
Yeah, you see 2 ultimate excels going down as well. So if Nasky doesn't have his ult, I'd be surprised at this point. He will have that black hole combination and the small stutter and in the CC that comes out from the black hole might make it an easy shot for Yuki with this Kraber. Now, 2 of our EU or EMEA teams representing here in the final. It's all up to Pop-Tarts to represent for North America. But we got 10 seconds before this ring starts closing in, and Yuki's looking for the opening. The bullet drop. It does not quite connect there with the Kraber, but hey, we have a defensive bombardment going down. Don't know if that was Nasky. I don't think it was. And so they're going to still have that opportunity to try and use it as we have Sir Dell pushing up. He secures that spot, and there's the ultimate excel going down for Nasky as Yuki tries to go for another shot, misses that one just narrowly that time around. Still has plenty of ammo, hits, and it's going to be Hakulo going down as Nasky follows up with that one on that Spitfire. We got to see what Nasky could do with the Spitfire yesterday, and we're seeing a continuation of that right now. The zone does close, and we're still down to 3 squads. We don't have the finish quite yet onto Hakulo, and so they might be able to get the res onto him.
I think it was the solo, actually. It could have been a rat that got finished off, because now we have 3 full squads of 3. So I really think that the only reason that Yuki's missing these headshots is because he's not in the grab lift, and he does hit on the Gibraltar right there, looking for some more. Does take, it looked like a lot more damage than it actually was. Only takes 50 damage with that red Evo armor, but they're in a great position right here. Playing this truck is a great spot. Yeah, you're not the closest to the zone. You're gonna have to walk just a little bit, but there's plenty of cover, as you can see. You're gonna be giving up a little bit of high ground, but you can still strafe back and forth in between these, waiting for the portal to go down before he chucks this black hole. And while they do that, that could be the opportunity for them to go in advance. Looks like that portal was just a bait. Does take out that utility, but they do catch Pop-Tarts over towards the side for Third Impact. Someone hits the portal like a madman.
And now, Pop-Tarts, they have to be careful here. Luckily, they'll have the res, the fast res. Here's the full push out from Third Impact. Zicky, it's a 1-for-1 exchange, and that's going to be Cooler coming in for the third party now. You have to expect Third Impact do get that team fight win. They do secure second place at the very least, but there is Yuki still applying pressure with that Kraber. He's got the R99 as well, and Cooler will very shortly finish this one off, taking game number 2 of the evening.
Nice rotation coming in from Cooler. Nice shots coming in from Yuki. Again, Spitfire, Gibraltar, 70 ult excels coming in. I bet it was just batteries, ammo, and ult excels coming in for Nasky right there. That was a lot of fun to watch. Again, a different zone too, so it's nice to see a thermal station one bouncing back up over towards the north. And we see a lot of different teams just prioritizing the high ground instead of going into fragment. That's the key there, is getting up over towards the hills. That's why we saw TSM go and do it. Third Impact comes in, takes that spot. Unfortunately, couldn't close it out, but Cooler did a great job of playing the edge and then making their way out.
Yeah, ultimately, CLG along with Sentinels went down fairly early on without having the same kind of performance there like they did in game number 1. Game number 2 means that at this point we're going to have a fairly decent spread on the leaderboard. We're going to wait to check in with that. We're going to take a short break. When we get back, we'll have game number 3 of Series E right after this.
Dupe, now that you have become an AppleJacks player, I want you to tell me if there's any other of the other brands, you know, maybe Cheez-It or Rice Krispie Treats, Razor, whoever it might be, that you're looking to beat out throughout this season. I mean, of course, we have the Razor Season 1 champions behind me with their jersey on the wall. Maybe you're gunning just for that first place. Or if there's just another snack that you really wanted, and now you're going to take them out with the AppleJacks brand. Talk to me. Who's it going to be?
Probably be Cheez-Its.
Oh, okay. You're a Cheez-It man, huh? You got to take them out.
Hey, I'm a big Cheez-It fan.
Yeah, take out Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its. Not gonna lie.
Hey, that's Team Superior.
You heard of them, right? You guys.
I want to take them out.
Okay. You heard it.
Don't be
Check out a
our
box of Cheez-Its.
All right, I'm DMing Rack right now. 1 second.
How about you, Rollers? You got is there a specific brand, or even if it's a pro team or a player, whatever it might be, anyone that you're looking to take out there, Rollers?
For me, Rockstar.
Oh.
But those are the homies, so take it easy on that.
Okay, so just some
Attacking the
competitive
boys.
love. Okay, I got to take them out because of that brotherhood I'm all about. And it's Aves. Tell me who you're looking for.
Yeah, it's definitely Pickett, Crummy, and Tech. They got it coming. I'm landing countdown.
There you go. That's what it comes down to. These guys are coming straight for not just the old or the new Rockstar roster, but of course Rakinishu on the old Rockstar roster as well. Now Team Cheez-Its over at Team Superior. So pretty exciting. I'm excited to see how Dude's Night Out will do under that AppleJacks brand and keep representing. Of course, I got my AppleJacks here. I'm gonna omit from pouring them all over my face just for the sake of the set. But
Hey, what's up? My name's Daves.
My name's Duke.
My name is Rolders
I play Apex Legends,
for Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks, and you're watching
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
My name's Dupe. And if you're gonna land on tree, you better get some milk and AppleJacks ready, because you'll be sent back to the lobby. Stay out of my lobby. One take. One take.
Hey, what's up? My name's Daves.
My name's Dupe.
My name is Rolders
I play Apex Legends,
for Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks, and you're watching
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
Hey, shake it, kiddo.
Love Dad. Oh.
I've got this. Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love when it's needed.
Welcome back, guys, to Series E. As Cooler, we're able to take game number 2, and they were pretty active throughout the early game as well. We saw them, of course, having that rotation pushing in the mid game there in zone number 2 or zone number 3. Let's see how many points they were actually able to put on the board, and if they were able to cut into the lead. Teams like CLG along with Sentinels were able to have. Third Impact now are in second place with 23 points. CLG are in first with 42, and Sentinels really weren't able to do much throughout that game, allowing teams like Razor, 303, and Pop Tarts to catch up.
That's wrong.
Is that correct?
Coolers,
Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong.
They gave CLG all of Cooler's points. So hey, you're fired. No, just kidding. So we'll get that updated for you, and we'll get everything going here in game number 3 very shortly. Let's take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment of last game. It was third impact getting into a little scuffle with Team Pop-Tarts, which made things fairly easy for Cooler. Nasky and Yuki come through. Great job with the Kraber there towards the tail end. But once you see this third party coming down, you're just foaming at the mouth for Team Cooler.
Yeah, when it comes down to this three-team endgame, it's all about which two teams engage first and who's allowed to come in for the third party. Especially when you get the trades. As soon as you see the trades, you pull the gun, you pull the trigger, and then just finish it all off. You can see Zicky's sitting on 10 HP. Cooler haven't taken any damage whatsoever. Yuki tries to secure that thirst with the Kraber. Will ultimately get it with the next shot, and then he turns around. But yeah. Cooler end up taking that one. We'll have an update on the leaderboard there because they should definitely be up there now. It should be a lot of teams challenging. Like I said, CLG went down fairly early on throughout the course of game number 2. And so that left the field wide open with Sentinels, as you saw, not getting that many points as well. And so we'll have teams like Pop-Tarts along with Cooler now challenging for the first place position. So right now, it looks like we do have the updated leaderboard, and there it is. CLG still in first place with 26 points, but Third Impact now in second with 23rd. Sentinels and Cooler are tied for third. And I guess Cooler, Cooler just didn't get that many points in game number 1, but ultimately, tied for third place.
Yeah, they had 5 points, and they're going to bust out a 17-point game right there. That was one of those where it was tough to come by kills. Again, there was a lot of opportunities for third parties, but all the teams were dying fairly quickly. There wasn't just like one giant brawl like we saw over towards the thermal station side, and all the teams kind of took it slow and methodical. And teams that do really well in those situations typically would be a team like CLG, but they weren't able to get it together in game number 2. So again, a different type of zone, a lot of fun to watch. It's really interesting to me that Cooler on the thermal station zone doesn't win, but they end the win on the fragment epicenter type of zone too. But that's how it is. They used to land over there, and sometimes you're just more predictable with the zones than others. So everyone kind of had a good idea of where that one was going. All those teams that had to rotate from, say, Harvester, from over towards that south side of the map are going to really struggle to make it past that fragment side.
Yeah, and then we get to see also the impact that the Horizon really has, that a lot of teams sometimes just kind of take their eye off the ball, forget that there's Horizons in the game. And so even though you have a high ground position, it's not all that safe. The Horizon team can push it every 30 seconds, throw down that gravity lift, and take that high ground away from you. Razor, I believe, were the teams that were trying to hold the rocks, but they were caught out by the rotate coming out from Cooler. It was a great job coming out from them. I don't know what happened to TSM throughout all of that. It was hard to tell, but at this point, with 4 games left to go, we still have plenty of games left to play. So plenty of time for teams to try and catch up, as we are getting game number 3 set up right now here for Series E. It's week number 2. It's AppleJacks week. It's pro night, and it's been a fun game fun night so far. 2 vastly different games. We talked about it. One high paced, extremely kill heavy game, number 1, and then this one more of a traditional game where it was more about positioning and such, instead of taking every single fight that came your way.
I would love to see Hal end up playing Horizon or possibly Gibraltar here, because he's just such a mechanically skilled player, and he's so aggressive that a player like Caustic, or a legend like Caustic, for someone that is just so talented, just doesn't make sense to me. So when I'm watching Yuki flying through the air, hitting Kraber shots, I just think about the times where we've watched Esports Arena and on the pro night, Hal's running around just dominating on Horizon. Some of their biggest kill games, some of their biggest point games was when they had that combination with Caustic, with Repsound Caustic, and then you have Hal over there busting out the Rise and then snipe down on Wraith. I really feel like that could be a deadly combination. But we'll see what they end up doing. I think that they got caught off guard. Third Impact was over towards the side. Maybe they pushed a building where they scanned and they just didn't see the scan, and Third Impact comes out flying and takes their spot. But that's a couple times now where we've seen teams that are holding really good positions get take out of their positions, and those teams go on to do really well. And that's always the most frustrating spot, because actually getting to that spot is half the battle. Then you have to hold it. So a lot of times the most experienced teams, the hard part is actually getting there. When you're used to holding these spots, that seems to be what TSM struggled with the last 2 games.
Yeah, and they are struggling right now, currently finding themselves tied for 18th with Na'Vi, 4 points overall. Like we said, though, There's 4 games left to go. And so all of these squads on the right side of the leaderboard have plenty of time to catch up. It's really about finding your footing and really trying to figure out what the hell's going on in this lobby. I think that's one of the hardest things to do if you're an IGL playing one of our nights right now, because you have such a mixed bag of games in terms of how it actually plays out. And it becomes very hard to predict movement when none of the teams are playing kind of predictably. It's if I'm going to be honest here, it's really hard to predict what the hell is going on. I mean, we were confused about how Cooler were able to challenge Razor on the high ground. Where the hell did TSM go? It was it's definitely an evolving game here in Apex Legends. The difference in compositions make things so much more difficult for our IGLs, and so it's all about always evolving and always improving. So we'll see. Right now, still waiting on game number 3 to get set up, as I believe we're getting players into the lobby as soon as we do have that underway. There we go, heading into the game. We're on board with NPL.
Yeah, NPL making their way through. I personally just want to go see Sentinels running around, mopping the lobby up, and just dominating like they were before. But we'll see what type of zone it is. Every zone is a little bit differently, and sometimes you have to play accordingly as we see what type of loot Nestle Pure Life is going to get. Dracos and his team obviously landing over towards Lava Fissure, not going to rock double flatline throughout the entire time. So he's going to be looking for something a little bit better and some armor along the way. But we should definitely take a look at some of these 50-50s that have been happening. We know that Intel is going at it most likely with Team Cheez It. We should check on their armors as well and see what's going on. If we could also get a scan on the zone, that'd be awesome. But there's the landing spots coming through, and looks like Six is going to do some zoning with some barrels there and be as annoying as possible. They do spot one player out over towards this building, and it looks like pings are going down that they want to focus this player, and finding a massive off the rip is absolutely huge.
Yeah, he goes for the quick peek instantly into the elevator shaft now as they are tossing things around. Six drops down to the low as they are getting ready. Panders did get hit by caustic gas. There we go. Six gets the first knock. Prodigy aces down, and he wants to secure that. Keeps the door open with the barrel. Finds a small angle through the shelves with that massive and backs away. He needs the rest of his squad here. They will be able to get the kill onto Prodigy aces, and if he wants to, it looks like no armor was there for Prodigy aces for Six to really swap off onto. So now it's going to be the 2v3 here in Lava City throughout this. Now Rakanishu is back, and so no Murdog to clutch up, but Rakanishu in his own right has been a stellar player throughout Series E, Season 1 and Season 2 so far. Still though, you're playing with a numbers disadvantage. You gotta have really, you don't really have much in the tank as well with the P2020 on Joey Blackout.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be looking to take this fight at all. And you have Mozambique Scout in the back pocket for Rakanishu. So checking the bottom floor of one building, and you get Gray Armor and Mastiff for 6. That's better than both of these players end up having combined. So not super ideal. Is another not ideal situation is Nestle Pure Life on their rotation. Pretty early rotation, 145 gets caught out over towards the side. Dracos gets hit with an arc star. The frag grade's going to be there to follow as well. That calls for an immediate bubble, but look how close that other team is. They're interested in pushing immediately. It's going to be Navi flying into that bubble, taking down Bambino. They know that that player is weak as well from the grenade. Nice job. Good push coming from Navi.
Yeah, and it looks like we are having the finish of that fight. Intel, we're able to get Joey Blackout, and Rakanishu is the only one alive at this point. He's going to try and heal up. The gravity lift has been used. The movement's too good. Coming out from Horizon, Panders will finish him off with that alternator. We're down to 18 squads left. Want to talk about that Navi versus NPL fight that was that keeps taking place, but never mind. Here's Rockstar coming in for the third party, and Strafe does get one throughout all of this. He's trying to get this thirst here for that armor swap at the very least, but where's the rest of Team Rockstar? Here they are, right on top of him for now. Trying to get the high ground. Tech is here, swing out from Strafe as the shots don't connect for Tech. And they're not going to chase after him. They're going to focus on, of course, securing that banner and getting Crummy back into this game. Ooh. Trying to get that thirst, and here comes a third party from Liquid. And so Tech, that was a great call coming out from Rockstar. Instead of chasing after and getting punished, they're going to be able to secure at least a kill and then go back and get the res.
Yeah, Team Liquid doesn't realize the situation where it's just a two-man squad. Otherwise, they'd be going pushing that one. So a little bit of misread on the kill feed overall. But playing it safe and focusing on rotation is never really a bad idea either way. And like you said, it's going to be good for Rockstar to be able to get back into that one because That's one of the things where you want to get lucky sometimes. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a break in these really tough lobbies just to get things going when it hasn't been going your way. Team Pringles rotates over towards one of those popular beacon buildings as Team AppleJacks finds themselves in a little bit of fight. Snipe Down gets into a knock in a fight with Team Pringles as it's going to be a 2-for-2 right now. And AppleJacks gets sent on. The hipfire coming through with the scout is not going to be enough. Cooler with another clean team fight as Reps and Snipe Down get back into it. And we do have a switch there. It is going to be Hal switching it up to Gibraltar instead of Caustic. So things you love to see. I think that Hal is going to be able to have much more success on this.
And it'll allow them a lot more defensive plays as well. We have an idea of where the ring is going. Let's go ahead and pull up the full map if we can. We're already down to 15 squads, by the way. 44 players remaining here. As ring 1 is still closing, and here it is. And so it looks like it's pulling over to Countdown. It's probably pulling over to the cars that Cooler are currently playing right now. So they're playing the northeast side of Countdown and also have this entire north side with the mountain to their back, controlling all the way over to this car. And that's the position. That's probably the winning position for this. I'd be surprised if this circle did pull down towards like Train Yard or something. We might have a fight between Third Impact, Team Pop-Tarts, I believe, taking place over at Epicenter very shortly throughout all of this. We'll find out in just a moment. It's Lonely Fans, actually, that have control over the car. The hell?
And then Team Pop-Tarts is sitting over towards the top of Epicenter, waiting to get information. I'm not quite sure what the plan is here. It looks like they are planning some sort of ambush. Or is it just Impulse's lagged out?
I think Impulse might have just lagged out. All right, let's join on board with CLG, who've gotten a knock on to Nocturnal throughout all of this. And this game number 3, I guess all of our odd numbered games are going to be the fast ones and maybe the even ones, the slower ones.
It's a good theory. Also, let's see if we can tie into our ring theory as well. As looks like Hotsick is going to be knocked and finished off, but a grenade is going to be there to defend him just for a little bit, and I believe that portal is there too, so I think he was able to get back through there, and they're not going to let him survive. It looks like Zach Mays is going to go and take that one. Flankers there with the flatline, however, and they have the cover as Hotsick did get finished off, but now it's a 2-on-2 situation. This Team Liquid's looking for some vengeance. This Thermite, let's see if it gets placed correctly. My Thermites never connect here, and it looks like Nocturnals doesn't either. They're going to go for this, though. Flanker's going to send. He's going to go and hit that scan as well. He's the hunt. Just went down. Nice hip fire there. Not going to land. You have Nocturnal flying in, but it's just a little bit staggered as he's just strafing back and forth over the replicator. The finish. Possible armor swap coming through as well. The armor swap doesn't connect, and the flank comes in from Naughty as well. There's the teamwork that you're looking for. Nice job by CLG.
Yeah. Almost getting punished for that little bit of BM onto Hotsick, but here we go. Yuki has found a knock onto Rice Krispie Treats Stunny, and then we'll be able to get the Thirst as well. Throughout all of that, though, looks like Nasky goes down. GS Bird, Lonely Fans getting involved in this fight from the long range, but it's Team Rockstar fighting over by Countdown. They've got a team ahead of them, and they've already used their ports. Looks like high ground, low ground control for them as the nade spam do come out. Crummy and Tech start pushing up as Matt Pickett throws in the artillery. The defensive bombardment is going to go down to stop this push. And so Rockstar will just bide their time as they have to be careful. Tech getting flanked from the right-hand side. He does drop down onto the low, and his port has already gone down, so he will have a little bit of difficulty pushing to the high. That might be this full team pushing onto them now, but no, they're still playing this cautiously, are not overextending here. So maybe Matt Pickett and Crummy did enough damage to force them back at the time being, as Crummy right there at the door tries to find an opening. He will have swing on from the right-hand side. The bubble has been used by that Gibraltar as well. Matt Pickett now forced to heal up, going for that peak. Crummy is down to 1 HP. He has a gravity lift to take to the skies now, and he will just heal mid-air. Gets that bat off as he now preps that med kit. Has to be careful. Rejoin his squad. Luckily for him, he does not get staggered because of the passive of Horizon. And this is just back to the neutral game now for Team Rockstar. A lot of utility has been used throughout this fight, Tom, with nothing really coming of it.
Yeah, they need to find some sort of infiltration, and it has to end up being Tech here because he's going to be the one that's going to be able to queue away. Looks like he's going to elect to queue in, so I love this play coming in. He's just going to initiate the fight immediately. You know that they have the advantage here. There's the full set. Even if he gets knocked, they should be okay. Kenny should be able to hit a battery in that bubble, but instead it's a flank through instead, and Rambo's there. Pickett with the flank, and this 2 versus 1 is not looking good for Matt Pickett. This was a 2 versus 3 originally, and it looked great for Team Rockstar, but the timing was just not there.
Yeah, the timing and just not enough damage, unfortunately, for them. So Matt Pickett will be forced to rat this one out. 13 squads, 35 players remaining. It looks like Rice Krispie Treats as well throughout all of this got taken out by Cooler. So as we still have 50 seconds before the ring starts closing at this point, a lot of teams down. We're down to 13 squads. Matt Pickett looking for possibly an attempt to try and run in. The res is there as well, and he cannot do anything about it as the banners are getting camped. Maybe he does go for a last-ditch effort, but basically the banners are... this game is nearly over for Rockstar. Matt Pickett, we'll see how long he can rat this one out for.
That was super unlucky for Matt Pickett. I mean, the timing, just for 1 second, it means all of the world here. Let's see what's going on with TSM. As a nice burst initially comes in from Snipe Down. Let's see what Hal's going to do. If he wants to push it with a bubble, that could end up being pretty useful, as Kenny does get the finish onto Matt Pickett. So there's the fight for Team Rockstar going south immediately. That's going to be third impact going down. That's Zicky getting eaten alive by the defensive bombardment from Hal. Everybody on TSM still fairly healthy. Now third impact on the run over here, and that's another knock there with the Spitfire coming in from Hal and the finish too onto Balon G. So just as the last player alive for third impact is TSM getting the revenge from game number 2.
And you got to see the value of that scan coming out from the Bloodhound there. The right-hand flank coming in was caught on the scan. They held the angle, forcing it back, and they were able to just focus down the 2v3 or the 3v2 here. TSM instantly pivoting, defensive bombardment down on top of their building. They are able to make it to safety. Snipe Down is a little bit disconnected, but he is on that Wraith, and Hal will join him to back him up for now. As Reps is going to slow things down. It looks like it's just going to be a full reset on this building as the other team disengages.
Smart, because you don't know what type of third party is going to come on after that, and you don't know the type of talent that's inside of this building right now. As TSM having their best game so far, I think they had 4 points overall from the first 2 games, and you can see Hal with just 3 on his own with the kills that he has. As Team Pop Tarts understands the situation, tough rotation to get into fragments, so you got to bust your Q out right there if you're Lucas, and try to find some loot on the way. It looks like they're looking for some ammo and some extra healing there too, as Team Razor in a skirmish. Hakulo takes a lot of damage, has a decent setup, but he takes flesh damage as well, which is not good. That's typically when teams push. So Muffins is going to elect to go and take that defensive bombardment out, use that one. Monsoon also uses the portal so they can get Hakulo back to safety and get him some more loot. So unfortunate that they had to use some resources right there, but keeping your Bloodhound alive is absolutely crucial. And this team is not missing their shots. Team Razor is not someone that's typically running away from a fight, but the pressure is so much, it looks like it's a team like Sentinels.
Yeah, and Hakulo is stuck in the middle of the street right now, as Muffins does have that high ground, and Hakulo is able to rejoin the squad. But Monsoon is taking so much damage. It's going to be CLG actually coming in with the flank. Muffins not able to get the initial, the big damage out, as Hakulo does answer back. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Naughty will be able to clutch this one up, and he will get the res onto the CLG squad. Razor going down in 11th place.
That's what it's like when you're playing against pro players. That's what it looks like, just like that. And you know what it looks like after that fight? Just like this. More teams coming in to try to clean it up as you're down a player after you just got done doing a great job. But that is a knock by Naughty, finishing how he finished that last fight. Vaxxon's going to have to hit that battery. Naughty's still fairly healthy, but he's reloading in the middle of that. Takes about 150 damage now. Going to have to back off at the battery on his own. Vaxxon now in a tough situation as Yuki comes through with the flank in the R3L1. I like this crawl coming in from Naughty. He also takes some shots from the back, realizing that he's just going to jump back down and immediately getting taken out. It's going to be Team Cooler with the well-timed third party on the CLG.
Yeah, we're now down to 9 squads, 24 players remaining. Looks like Cooler might be committed to having to push out through that connecting tunnel on the southeast side of Skyhook. Don't know how much of the northwest side is open here, but I'd be surprised if any team is camping in that in this late of the game with so few teams alive. Blueberry Smalls on the Tomcat Rat Cam. Let's go ahead and swap off to see who else is still alive here. We have 9 other squads to look in.
Who's getting into some good spots? It looks like Noko Puffs and his squad It's going to be in a decent position. Tanner switching off the Bloodhound, going with Wraith, so they're going with a little bit more aggressive composition. I do like this coming in for Team No-Go Puff. So let's see if this zone ends up pulling directly towards them, because if it does, it's going to be one of the best spots in the game. 303 still posturing and fighting over towards this respawn building where we saw the beacon building, excuse me. We saw TSM locked down before. We'll see if this is still TSM in the area.
Yeah, we do have the Beast the Hunt as well as the zone is closing on in. So great timing from Bambino. Has the funnel as well as this team tries to push up. But the third party is punishing him for now. TSM have taken some damage, but Snipedown will back off to pop that bat for the time being. The defensive bombardment doing a lot here as Hal is able to pick off 2 from 303. And TSM largely unscathed throughout all of this. Hal is forced to bat one more time, but they will be able to deal with 303. They need to tuck themselves into this corner here. As you can see, the long-range third parties coming in, poking away. They have a lot of cover now. As you can see, the ring now continuing to pull away. So that car position that we saw Lonely Fans in earlier on, that's where the ring will continue to pull.
Yeah, this is a good position for TSM to be, though. That's why they were locking this down. They knew the rotation was going to be fairly easy. Always keeping your back towards the zone is a good play. The scout in the hands of Snipedown, too. We talked about this before, where this is what they were lacking. They were lacking some long-range poke to bully teams off of their spot and also to force teams to go and use the resources towards the tail end of the game. So I love this switch-up coming in from Snipedown. The only thing you're missing here is a Mastiff, but you can definitely count on Hal or definitely Reps to have one here, if not both of them in their back pocket. A couple yeet of some healing coming on over for TSM too, and this is going to be easy for them to kind of make their way up. Expect a portal play coming in from Snipedown, but until then, they're just going to sit there trying to bully teams with this long-range poke.
Yeah, they might be running into Cooler here. As you can see, the ping's going down onto the tunnel, and I believe that is Cooler just at the mouth of the cave. And so this is going to be a pretty tough fight.
As below the sniper pole.
And yeah, dealing with the team that's over on Sniper Pole as well, as it looks like they will be able to slide in safely. That team on top of Sniper has gone down. Take a look at the position coming out. No scans quite yet coming out from Reps. There it is. The jig is up. They have full scan Cooler here as Snipedown with the left side peek. Does some decent damage with that G7 Scouts. Will give them pause for the time being. A Horizon tries to scout it out and gets tagged twice by Snipedown. And so TSM are just locking this position.
when the horizon's in the air and you're lining up your shots, don't even do it. Just close your eyes, maybe sneeze, click a couple times if you're using mouse and keyboard, just pull that right trigger and you see where your shots go. Horizon's so annoying when she's in the air. I'm not quite sure how these players are able to connect on any of those shots, but I do like this coming in for TSM. This is a very aggressive play. The scans are fairly useful, but this fight is going to go down, and once this happens, not only do you have to win this fight, you have to fend off the rest of these players and teams that are coming afterwards.
Yeah, the round is closing, or the ring is closing now, and really have no other option except to push forward. You can see it's Pop-Tarts that have the position here on the southeast side on the sniper post and such, but their attention is pulled over towards Countdown, where a lot of fighting is taking place for the time being. A defensive bombardment goes down, and Impulse is looking for any angle. There is, it looked like a drone in place. Defensive bombardment going down on top of TSM. Bubble has been used as well. Pop-Tarts now fully focusing on the northeast side as they're trying to find any kill here. Season in a fight here, as it looks like the Black Hole did go down on them. Rambo will fall as New King picks that one up. But the fight up top, it's going to be Intel to get the knock onto Imperial Hal. And now looks like TSM, every TSM member is getting punished here. Tanner even going down as well.
Yeah, Tanner's like, I wasn't involved in this one. Why me? Pop-Tarts does take this high ground back, though, and this ends up being the best position for them. And that's why I was thinking the best spot for TSM to be would be underneath this sniper pole. It's a very easily played spot. I've even faced TSM in tournaments when they take this lower spot and they're just a handful to have to just worry about when they're below you. They're chucking grenades up. You don't know how much healing they have. And they just sit there and strafe back and forth as they just poke shots up at you. But instead, it's Team Pop-Tarts with free reign over here, just laying shots down. And it's very rare for a team to be up here and have tons of loot like they do. 211 shots in this 30-30. Stomps is going to be able to rip players across the map.
Yeah, and the poll is just slightly in as well. It's Team Intel that are in this fight right now, as Plane does answer for one, but Panders and 6 are still up. They're going to pop that res to get Metro back into this, and you can see 6 holding the angle to their east. We're down to 4 squads, 10 players remaining. would like to check in with Cooler to see what happened there for them. I know that I believe Nasky is still alive at the very least throughout all of that. And yeah, they are still up as a full 3. So that means we do have a rat. So it's a 3v1 right now as Nasky throwing down that defensive bombardment on top of Pop-Tarts as they are forced out. It's Team Lonely Fans as Blueberry Small is the only one alive. He doesn't have any armor as well. He's going to try and sneak his way underneath this tower, and he will be able to get in, just barely riding the edge, using that Q to avoid a lot of that damage and tucks himself into a corner.
This is the spot to play, in my opinion, especially if you're going to be a rat. So nice job by Blueberry Smalls. Again, taking another position that was completely left open by all of these pro teams. And this is one of those spots where you can really end up getting fairly far. And a lot of wins come from holding this bottom area too, because everyone that has to drop down from the height ends up getting a little bit of that gun punch, which is Horizon's passive, which makes her so useful in a lot of different situations. Speaking of Horizon, we do have Intel getting the furthest. We've seen them in quite some time. So let's see if they're going to be able to finish off fresh off their 50-50 win over towards Lava City as well. Now Team Pop-Tarts, looks like they're just taking it easy. Looks like a couple of them are running a little low on ammo. Probably have to share a little bit of that ammo for Impulse there, Stomps.
Yeah, I mean, you got the flatline. Allow the flatline to really just rip there. Plenty of ammo on the R301, but it's Team Intel who have the positioning. They're playing inside the car. They've got their caustic barrels out as well. 6 still holding on to 2, and so he can try to use that to control the fences a little. Maybe he's just waiting until the zone starts closing up. They do have, of course, Panthers on that horizon, so he could even yeet the barrels over using the QQ combo to get the barrels a little bit further in as well. Haven't really been seeing much of that. I would love to see if teams could utilize that, especially here in the late game.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I would love to see that too. But I think that Intel, by far, when you look at the positioning from everybody, has the best spot exactly for that reason right there. They get the knock on to Stomps. This zone is closing, so he's going to have to now force to use his bubble so he full heals. And probably should have bubbled on the ground and a little bit more in front of him because he's got to advance. They have to kill this rat. Does get the armor swap off there, but this is what we were anticipating. You have Cooler over towards the side shooting. You're going to have Intel focusing on them as well. And then Pop-Tarts will get eliminated. It'll be a straight 3v3 between Intel and Team Cooler.
Yeah, we'll see Black Hole being used as well. The bubble is still there, though, and so they haven't been able to combo that one up. Defensive bombardment has gone down, it seems like, and the bubble will be used on the other side as Intel are going to try and fight inside. Panders with the PK gets double knocks, and it will be Team Intel taking out Cooler. Here comes Pop-Tarts for the third party, but how long can Intel survive for? Getting massively. Pop-Tarts don't have that much HP, but they have taken out 6. Panders is the only one alive, and Pop-Tarts will take game number 3.
I'm shocked that Pop-Tarts was able to win that game with the fact that they got picked off right when the zone was closing and had to use their bubble super early. Somehow they were able to survive throughout all that. Cooler takes their focus off over towards that, puts it on Intel. That 3v3 happened so quickly that they were able to scoot back on over towards the fence and clean up the rest of Team Intel and win the game. But Cooler was sitting over towards the top of the leaderboard too after their big win in game number 2, I believe it was. So we'll see if they continue to rise up. CLG, I think, got eliminated a little bit early too, but TSM started to bounce back. We saw a howl right there on Gibraltar. That was a good game, but I'm definitely impressed with the way that Pop-Tarts was able to recover.
Yeah, we saw the focus fire coming out to them, and then all of a sudden, there was a pivot out from both teams to focus on each other, thinking the ring will finish off the job, but it did not, and it was Team Pop-Tarts that ultimately took the victory here in game number 3. Now, that does mean, of course, we have hit halftime, so we're going to take a little bit of a longer break, but when we get back, it'll be the second half of Pro Night here for AppleJacks Week at Series E. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
It's Abe. I just want to know who's supporting you in chat. Talk to me about anyone at home who's watching in chat, rooting for you, etc.
Well, I locked my roommate out of my room so I could do this this interview. But I would say my biggest supporters are probably Matt Pickett, his brother, Crummy, Tech, Rack. You know, I like to keep my circle small. So those guys.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Yeah. How about you, Dupe?
Basically my family, my brother, he supports me a lot, showed me how to game, first of all, so he's the main reason I'm a big gamer. And my close IRL friends, they support me as well, so shout out to those guys.
Good vibes, good vibes. I'm sure they're in chat. What's up, boys? How's it going? Rollers, who you got?
Shout out to my brother, Tesh and Tommy Young from Halo, the old Halo homies, and then just DNO and Matt Pickett back.
Did you say Halo?
Hey, what's up? My name's Daves.
My name's Duke.
My name is Rolders
I play Apex Legends
for Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks, and you're watching
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
About time I got here. I'm never on time. I'm always late. Am I right, Sam? That's what I'm talking about. Tony T, what up, big boss? You know what to do.
Here I come, I am Cinnamon.
It's Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, AppleJacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws. They're Jumbo.
Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Gonna take them on the go. Cereal, magnified, showing up for snacking time. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Gonna take them on the go.
It's Jumbo. It's your snack kit. It's Jumbo Snacks.
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
You want to zoom this in? I'm gonna do it. I don't know what I'm doing. The newest merch.
Yo, Bundy, where do you get this merch, dude? esportsarena.com/shop.
All stars. Looks sick, Bundy.
I know. What's up, gamers? Conniekin's here.
Behind the scenes. Look at this. This is like a camera.
We're doing a photo shoot today.
Stand loose. You're a goofy guy.
Yeah. Look at that. That's cute. That's a wallpaper.
I don't see anybody else's esports org with this many sponsors. That's all I'm saying.
What? You don't like that?
Why are you laughing? Do like, I don't know, is there like a Fortnite character that you like that doesn't make out storyline?
It's the eye when it comes to production and photography. Yeah, put the Nintendo Direct right there.
Area.
What's up? Look at this crew neck, Connie. Show me this crew neck. Look at the embroidery. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Connie, how do those feel on your legs?
I love them, dude. I could literally live in these.
Audi, he said hi. GameCube controller. Get out of here.
What's this?
Phone and I just saw it.
Oh my god.
Like this thing right here. You get that on camera?
Watch your finger.
Yes.
Put the camera down. Can you guys put these cameras down and like actually help Kyle?
Here, you can just take this. No, Brandon, keep vlogging.
Yeah, I don't know why he's thinking that. It's just...
We got Tyler posing over here looking like a badass. We got Kyle doing some great shots where he pulls back and...
3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a whole vibe, Connie. Gaming, dog. Gaming.
It's almost taxi.
Where's your camera? In the box?
In the box. Do you think the elevator's working?
No.
No. It was really dangerous. That was some Final Destination.
Yes.
Show us the picture.
No.
Hey guys, we're gonna...
All right, welcome back to Series E. As we have already finished off our first half, we're heading into our second half of the evening here for Pro Night during AppleJacks Week. So let's go ahead and check in with the leaderboard.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting so far to watch how Cooler's been able to work their way towards these final circles. CLG popped off early, but they've slowed down just a little bit. Sentinels was going ham to start. Haven't seen them in the kill feed much ever since. Really looking forward to see if they're going to be able to continue to put a lot of pressure on. But, I mean, Team Intel finally putting together their best game of Season 2. Would you say, Jamerson?
Definitely, it was a great game for them. It was just unfortunate, of course, the full send coming out from Cooler onto them. I liked the fight that Intel were able to take there, but you know, it happens. You get the trades, and then Pop-Tarts are able to recover and come back. Right now, it's a good mix bag on the left-hand side of the screen there of our invited teams and of course our partnered squads, and so Pop-Tarts having the best performance so far, but we still have 3 games to go. And you know, you were talking about Sentinels, Tom, and you know, it feels like they have like their best performance when the ring does ultimately end up pulling down to the south, closer towards Sorting Factory, especially when it goes over the tree. Sentinels really have a beat on being able to play that, but it's now about kind of adjusting your style and really learning how to fleshing out your rest of your rotations and your gameplay style when it comes to these harder circles that pull so far away from you.
Yeah, when it comes to sorting or anywhere from sorting to tree, that spot specifically, something about fighting in that area, Sentinels is just unstoppable. If they could just bring that to the rest of the map and bring that momentum to the rest of the map, it's going to be scary. But the problem is sometimes you don't have all of the loot that you need to go and take those fights. So let's take a look at the Mobile 1 high performance moment of game number 3, most likely the ending.
Yeah, this is where Pop-Tarts were in a lot of trouble. Stomps had just gotten res. They were able to secure this kill onto Blueberry Smalls, who was ratting it out below them. Impulse goes down, and I believe Stomps as well. And Lucas is the only one to survive, which is why we thought this was just over for Pop-Tarts. Cooler and Intel instantly start their fight against each other at this point, and that's where they just completely lost sight of the fact that they still need to finish off Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts are able to just res up and fully heal throughout all of this, Tom.
The fact that they're just hitting one person, hitting 2 reses over towards the side is absolutely crazy. Very rarely does that happen, but they were just moving so fast that they weren't expecting the res. And also, you don't expect the zone to just close this slowly. So all of a sudden you see 3 players running at you, and a majority of them are healthy as the defensive bombardment is going down, and you guys, oh wait, that's not ours. And this is a full 3-man squad, so Pop-Tarts had to be stoked with how this turns out. Very rarely, we're talking about luck a lot today, very rarely do you get that lucky.
Yeah, generally, you know, when you get knocked there in that final 3-team engagement, it's pretty much over. When 2 of you go down, it's supposed to be 100% over. But yeah, again, losing focus on this fight, having just this sliver of cover to work with, as you see the ping going down as well. He's like, if I'm dying over here. He knew, and he's able to get to safety, and they are able to heal up. Ultimately, they didn't need the cover to go for the res because of the hard focus between these 2 teams here in the final fight. But yeah, imagine if Intel could have just finished off this fight a little bit sooner. Metro, if he had not gone down, you saw how low the HP was on the other side. Joining on board with Cooler, who are not challenging TSM. We talked about this after game number 1. They are over here at Thermal Station, and they have been taking some fights up against AppleJacks, who have been in the area as well. So we'll see how AppleJacks decide to try and play this one out in the second half. They've had, you know, a decent amount of time to formulate a game plan around playing around Cooler here.
We also have to give credit to Lucas last game too, because I'm beginning to wonder, what would Rap Boy Ronnie do in that situation? Would Rap Boy Ronnie have sucked the res in the middle of the open against both of his teammates, or would he have just ratted it out like Ronnie always does? I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to see when NPL gets to the end zone like that. But seriously, credit to Lucas for sticking that res and having the reaction time to go and do that. That's not easy to do, even though we're saying that they did get lucky. There is a little bit of luck, but a lot of that comes down to the amount of timing and kind of creating your own luck. So really good job there, as Team Cooler is getting some pretty free loot over towards Thermal, and it looks like it's not going to pull over here. So if we could switch on someone that got a scan or some 50-50s, that could give us a little bit more idea of what's going on, because these guys are just running around hoping for some good armor, because Triple White's not looking too good.
Yeah, there we go. Joining on board with Team Intel, who are, of course, taking this fight up against Cheez It. And oh no, Metro. He got stuck with the Arc Star. Joey Blackout taking him out. Six is going to try and control the corridors with those barrels, but he's got no more left. We'll swap off onto that triple take. He's basically playing double shotgun here, but one of them is a Mozambique. If he has the hammer point, maybe there's a fighting chance here, but Six is now on the roof controlling the roof building for the time being, along with Panders, but this is already difficult. Navi versus NPL, Strafe with 2, but Ronnie takes him off. It's going to be down to a 1v1 now, as Ronnie tries to heal up throughout all of this, and the third party might already be coming here from Team Rockstar. We'll see. Intel, you get 1 kill onto Prodigy Aces, evening that one out, but Joey Blackout. Now it's up to Rakanishu in the 1v1 up against Panders. Don't know what HP Panders is at. He's hit for flesh here, but Rakanishu takes a big shot. They've got the Q as well to force him off the door, and he can take the roof if he wants to as well. Has the armor swap onto White as Six does get finished off. That means it's going to be an armor swap for Rakanishu. How much ammo does he have left in that Spitfire now, as Panders picks up that charge rifle, tries to secure the thirst at least for himself before going down. For the time being, it's still going to be this 1v1. Panders taking away from that gas damage to back away as Joey Blackout gets his revenge from the grave right now. Pander's going to heal up once again as Rakanishu will start sticking that res on to Prodigy Aces, but still Panders has the HP advantage, goes for the instant peek, takes the re-knock onto Prodigy Aces, and now Rakanishu caught in a corner. He just needs to hit one more shot. The hip fire not quite connecting. Finally, on like the 7th bullet, Panders will take him out, and Intel survive again, and it's a true 50-50. 4 games, it's 2-2 between Intel and Cheez-It.
I can't believe Rakanishu didn't have an opportunity to go and try to get some healing or maybe an armor swap right there throughout all of that. Instead, he's going to go for the res. Not quite sure what that was. Intel is going to be able to get the res over here. Nice job by Panders. 2 very skilled players going at it in 1v1. That was fun to watch. And these guys are absolutely psycho. The fact that they just keep briefing each other and fighting over towards Lava City makes me wonder if they are definitely fighting over this when it comes to the real tournaments too. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't put it past them, because where else are you going to go if this is the spot that you want to actually fight at? So there's some nice blue armor there for whoever wants to call dibs on that one. Probably whoever did. I would say whoever did the most damage during that fight should get that blue armor. But here's the zone that we have, and they got to get back into this because TSM is coming to collapse quickly. This is a Lava City zone. We haven't seen one of these in a while. There's going to be a lot of teams in this end zone.
We're already familiar with excuse me. I defaulted to Ratty, by the way. Ronnie having to rat this one out, and he's not going to be able to pick up the banners. Let's go ahead and swap around. As there we go. We have 303 controlling the choke. This is just north of Lava City, and they were looking to try and find the timing. It looks like coming out from Geyser to push onto Lava City res. Unfortunately, not able to create the distance. The armor situation also not great for 303, as Bambino and Pyrodice are sitting on the white armors. AppleJacks in a fight up against Sentinels as well. Dupe going down. It's gonna be Retzi to pick that one up, as it looks like it's just gonna be some shoulder peeking out from either side. Here's the fight now over in the tunnel as Dupe is bleeding out. Aves will be the next one to fall as well. It's all up to Roller to port back, but now from behind he's got to be careful. He does scan it up, and as he slides in, hits for the 40 with the triple take, and he tries to go after that Bloodhound. He does have the EVA 8 out, but these aren't the weapons you really want to try and take a fight where you're completely outnumbered. Senox will be able to finish him off. They've got the Beast of the Hunt to continue to scan, try and stop this third-party push. They're coming pretty fast, though. 2 members already pushed on up. So you join back on board with 303, playing footsies with whatever squad this is. It might be Team Intel on the other side.
I think it's CSM. We should find out what team that is. We should go to the map and click whatever team that is and find out, because I saw when we pulled up the map that it was TSM, and based on the character frames that I'm seeing, very well could be.
Yeah, it is.
So this is, yeah. So then we have Pop-Tarts coming in through the choke as well. So they're sharing it with TSM. So that's awesome. Now you can see the other team that's coming up over towards the side. Pop-Tarts is going to elect to rotate in a completely different way. And now TSM is going to possibly get aggressive onto this building. CLG does find themselves in a fight with Team Rockstar over towards the side. Sentinels still holding over towards here, which is another good opportunity to get some kills. But it looks like they're interested in fighting this one, as they should be. Scan coming up in about 7 seconds for Senox, and they'll send it once this happens.
Yeah, accidentally popping that barrel instead of clearing it now is CLG finding another kill. And Zero Tricky will go down to Team Pringles as well. Stenox going for the peak, but Retzi has been cracked, and so they do back off as they need to go for the full reset here. Stenox forced the bat as well, as they do have the armor swaps to work off of as well, backing away, getting up some position. Don't know exactly what Retzi did pick up throughout all of that. Rockstar did get finished off, or at least Crummy did, as now here comes a first nade from Retzi. They want to start making their advance, but once again, this team has a beat on them and are able to really hold this angle well. But Retzi's going to go ahead and full send that swinging wide. You have the team, Blueberry Smalls, Lonely Fans, swings right on top of them, but they're not able to bubble fight with the best of them, as Crust and company will be able to finish them off. Sentinels take this, but it's going to be Team Pop-Tarts now coming in for the third party. Crust is the first one down. Retzi has his port, he has his Q to work with, and Senox is already back there. And as he's going to have to run into Lava City, there's going to be other teams involved as well. Pop-Tarts ultimately pick up this loot here for themselves, and only the one kill throughout all of that. We're already down to 16 squads, 42 players remaining as the first ring is about to finish closing.
Looks like we have more fighting happening too. Hakulo gets the knock onto Sunny. Looks like Rice Krispie Treats in a little bit of a skirmish. Let's see if we can hop onto that one. It looks like Sentinels does get knocked as well by Team Intel, and there it is, Casper and Bird trying to figure out exactly where these players are going to be. There goes the bubble, but it's not for the res. It's just a fight. That's a knock onto Muffins. Where is Hakulo, though? Because we know that he's still alive, getting some damage in. It looks like he is nowhere to be found. Maybe on the stairs over towards the top-hand side. Metro gets the finish onto Sentinels as well. That's going to be the last player on that team, too. So Panders continuing to have themselves a pretty good game on the Intel side, as Hakulo is the lone rat over here and barely gets this med kit off into the zone and the battery as well. So he'll be on that Tabcot rat cam for a little bit as we see what the rest of these teams are doing too. This is a Lava City zone, so Hakulo is going to have a tough time getting there.
Yeah, he has an opportunity to try and go for that banner, but it all depends on how many heals he has, of course, as well. Pop-Tart's still holding inside this tunnel for the time being. Don't know who might have yoinked this spot now. We did see, of course, Sentinels going down toward to Intel when they try to make their way into Lava City, and Pop-Tarts don't like pushing themselves into the funnel. They can back away. They have a replicator dropping as well, so if they need more loot, they can try and craft some up. But for the time being, they're just going to continue to play over here at Sorting Factory instead. The pings do go down onto that circle building here. CLG still prowling around Frag West. And so they're just camping these banners for as long as possible. Here's Team Pringles, though. They are set up in Fragment East. And so there might be an opportunity for these two teams to fight, and in a relatively isolated fight.
Oh, it's nice when you find a random gold death box there with a Mastiff inside of it too. So wonder what his favorite flavor of Pringles are. Sour cream and onion, pretty top notch. I think there's a lot of good flavors, but that's one of the ones that are kind of up there as we see what CLG is doing, and they're going to finish off Team Liquid into the zone. This is why you kind of play the edge. You're looking for weak moments out here. You're looking for players that you can kind of pick apart and do exactly what CLG just did. So they know the rules. When you play edge, you really, really do play edge. And if you want to take fights, you want to go and make sure that you're completely healthy for it. So like you're saying, Jamerson, hitting the replicator, making sure that they have everything that they need to, and there's no rush to get in, still slowly ticking. And you have so many different ways that you can rotate here, because all the teams definitely start to make their way towards chokes and Lava City. You don't anticipate anybody sitting in these buildings.
Yeah, it's going to be full heal coming out from Naughty, but they have a general idea that a team is still in the area. You see Naughty was patient with the scan as well, not throwing that out, because if you miss it, teams can see it, and that'll be a visual cue for your location. So he holds on to that. He's going to be able to pick up the beacon for us as well. So if we can bring up the map, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then we'll see exactly where inside Lava City this one will go, but we switched on over to Team Liquid, so we can't see exactly where in Lava City it would be. If we switch back over to CLG, we'll be able to find that one, and they're going to be able to decide how they want to play this too. So it's going to be in the buildings in Lava City, which I think that there's probably about 2 or 3 endings over there. The most popular one is probably near the train tracks. There's 2 endings that are on the separate sides of the train tracks. The one inside of the cart is absolutely brutal, and if it's that one is a lot of fun to watch. Caustic really thrives in that type of vicinity too, and so does Gibraltar. But Third Impact looks like they're trying to get out of here. That's going to be a portal down for Zeke. Ball on G now is trying to get back to safety here. The res does come through. Not a gold backpack though, so it's up to Jazaz to pop that Beast of the Hunt, hit these scans as well. That should scare off these players temporarily, as a flank comes in from CLG. Great spray from Zach Mazer onto one of the Pringles players, and he's going to go down.
Yeah, and so now they have the angle to try and shoot that team. Team was able to get the res, but they will secure the thirst at the very least here. And fortunate for them that Pringles and Third Impact got into this fight. CLG were able to rotate through that choke for free. No resistance whatsoever. But again, they're now dropping down to the low ground. This is a dangerous spot to be in as the scan comes out. And now they know as Pop-Tarts find themselves in a fight. Impulse is the first one to go down. AppleJacks, excuse me, not AppleJacks. Right on top of them. It's going to be Season as Kenny gets that first knock onto Impulse. And it's all down to Stomps. And fortunately for him, he's just not able to win out with the numbers here as Season will win this one. They don't lose anybody, and so that stops the third party. They were posturing to try and come and challenge them, but you saw the damage coming out, the repeaks coming out from them as well. Not able to connect quite yet. It is going to be Kenny. It's going to be Team Liquid coming in. The knock onto Ramo. That was the triple take, along with Team Intel with the finish off. It's Team Intel who ultimately I think we're the ones that were maybe pushing close, or was it Team Liquid? It's hard to tell right now, though. Double gold armors for Team Liquid here as Flanker still sitting on the blue, surprisingly enough, but they're in a spot where they're trying to spot out anyone that might be rotating in late, so they have to worry. CLG could be coming in, maybe the rest of Pringles, maybe the rest of the rest of Third Impact. Don't know if they got finished off. We're down to 12 squads. That's a lot of teams missing in this lobby right now.
Random damage goes in as Third Impact is alive, but it'll be fun to see how Hodsick utilizes the Sentinel. Very underrated gun, I would say. Hodsick and Bowser are the only two players that I see actually try to utilize that gun in scrims and tournaments as Third Impact now starts to make the rotation. This is very common where you try to push over towards that way. Instead, they're going to try to pick on this team getting the res over towards the side, pick up some more kill points, and try to get some more loot. But it's going to be tough because now they're going to have to get this kill and then make their way uphill over towards where this zone is going to be. And like we were talking about, this is going to continue to pull in towards the actual city of Lava City. It looks more like it's going to be an eggshell ending. Yeah,
we should go back to Team Third Impact and Pringles there as Season are able to get the knock onto Fury. That was the team that went for the res, and it's unfortunate. You saw Third Impact. They saw the kill points on the board for them. They just were not able to pounce fast enough, but here's the Beast of the Hunt. They are going to hound them down, but the defensive bombardment slowing down just a little bit here as Balon G waiting for the rest of his squad to try and push up together, but he does get cracked, slowing down this push from Third Impact. Arcstar's coming down on them, Thermite's up, and they have to back away. This team is defending like hell right now with the ring closing in. This is going to be a full grief on as they push up. It's going to be Third Impact just finishing off Team Season, and they have to move in quickly with the ring here, and so this is going to be a blind rotate. Don't know if Jazz has another scan for them. He might very well, and he's going to need it as they are getting shot at through the fences. Pringle's still alive here. Zaculo somehow alive throughout all of this. He's riding this one out. He gets the knock onto them. That's going to be a kill point for Haculo, and he's been riding this out since what, 5 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago.
Zone is closing, so you got to move right now if your Team Pringles, as Intel has been the team, as we were wondering, to go and take the choke after they went and picked up these kills on the third party on the Sentinel side. And we talk about how Caustic thrives in here. It's no surprise that that's what Six is planning on doing with these 50 million armor swaps that they have as Team Liquids and the skirmishes over towards the outside. Caustic does have his bubble if he wants to go and use that one. Could pop some cells fairly quickly too. And there he does. He gets into a little crevice where the bubble is fairly useful and they can't really shoot down, and now a nice angle comes through as Hal gets involved too. This is going to be 303 getting into a fight with Third Impact, and TSM's there too. Liquid still trying to figure out exactly where these players are. If Flanker had a scan, that would help them out big time, but looks like they're just posturing around, and there it is. You can see the player outlines right now. Their team's trying to make their way up the rock.
Oh boy, they are trying to full send it on to them, but fortunate. Oh, Flanker has been caught out. Naughty has dropped down onto them. CLG get the first kill here as 303 are fighting off against TSM, and Reps will be able to finish that one off. They need to recover Hal here as the third party comes on top of them. Liquid starting to pop that res, but it does get canceled as Hostic does get pushed throughout that bubble. It's going to be TI coming in to try and finish off TSM. Once again, this fight taking place over and over again. Zicky gets the knock on 2 reps here, and so it's all up to Snipe down as a Thirst comes out onto Imperial Hell. Jazz doesn't have the armor swap for himself. He's on that red Evo, now pulling down over to the the blue Evo for himself as Snipe down gets the knock onto Ziki along with Balon G. It's going to be the final melee for Jazz to finish him off, and TI barely survived throughout all of that, and it's unfortunate for them as well because now Jazz is stuck on the blue armor because of the over-aggression on that. CLG, though, have this angle set up, and they have to move in, but it looks like they're just going to go ahead and play for the points as we swap off onto E-Boy Ronnie for whatever reason.
To rat it out for the Tomcat Rat Cam, Ronnie.
Yeah, there's a fight going on. Let's go ahead and pop off the fight. Thank you so much. As Third Impact now turning the fight on to CLG. It's Ziki with almost no HP. Jazz has been dropped down low, but he does get one more knock onto Vaxlon. And now it's just one final member remaining here as Naughty with the EVA 8 will be able to finish this off, but not in time. 20 seconds left to go as the ring is closing, and he has to abandon his teammates.
Yeah, he's dead, actually. There's no way he's going to be able to make it up over there, and you get stuck down here all the time, actually, and that's just what ends up happening in these type of zones. And yeah, now you're dead because you guys fought for so long over there. So unfortunate, slow but sure death to the zone coming in for the rest of CLG. But hey, they went out in style with a couple of kills along the way. There's a play coming in from Intel. This is very common to do with a Wraith portal down towards the bottom of the building, but instead it's going to happen with the bubble, with the Horizon Q as well. And now they take the opposite roof, which is not easy to do, and now they're in a good position too. Actually, this is cooler too. So there's 2 to 3 teams coexisting just between these 2 buildings as well, and then one more team around, and I think that's just Ronnie as a rat.
Yeah. So with Noko and his squad up top, it's going to be very difficult here. Again, when it does come down to Lava City with all these buildings, it's going to slow down quite a fair amount. Tanner is just 90 damage away from getting his purple Evo. Metro is 20 away from getting his red Evo throughout all of this. But Intel, you know, they were able to win their 50-50, and now they are benefiting from it. Here it is, the Tomcat Ratcat coming out at a proper time now, instead of in the middle of a fight, as things have slowed down. 45 seconds before the ring starts closing.
Yeah, let's see if Ronnie can win this one out. We were just actually talking about this for Team Pop-Tarts and what would Ronnie do. And Ronnie does pick the right times to rat. That's why we always talk about it. He bails on the fights when the third parties come, and that's one of the keys. But it's also key for the rest of your team to call out when that actual third party does happen. So we'll start to scroll through and find out exactly what compositions and utility everybody's running. It's going to be cooler. Obviously, Yuki, Nasky, and Serdell. It's been Yuki on this Horizon the entire time. That's going to be a pretty explosive ending if it happens. But I want to see how Noko and his team do, because this is the furthest we've seen them get so far. Intel's also having another great game too. So we'll see if the high ground works out or if it's going to be the power of the Caustic here. The only full teams that have Caustic is the team on the low ground, which is Team Intel, and that could be a big deal.
Yeah, roof control is going to be important, of course. You also have that Horizon to deal with. Maybe if a defensive bombardment comes down, you can just pop that gravity lift and avoid all the damage on the ground if you want to conserve on the bubble and hold that for a later fight right now. But again, it's so many buildings involved in this fight. Nasky does ultimately find Ronnie, so MPL will go down in 4th place.
Yeah, poor Ronnie couldn't survive to the final fight. Instead, he's going to be taken down. Right as round number 6 is going to close, but look at the aggressive play coming in from Team Noko Puffs here. This is something that you love to see. This is the confidence that's going to win you the game, making sure that once you have the roof, you're spread out all over the place. The only thing that Cooler could do is obviously a crazy play from Yuki to go and try to take this high ground away, but they don't have the Bloodhound scans to go and look for that opportunity. So right now, they understand the situation. They can see 9 up in that top right. That's 3-on-3-on-3, obviously. We get the luxury of being able to see these player outlines and see exactly how many players there are and exactly where they are. But no matter what the situation here, we've seen this a million times where you don't want to be the first team to fight unless you're going to have some miraculous ending like Team Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, Dell still has the portal to work with as well, and they're fairly close to the center of the zone, but that squad to their north, Team Intel, I believe, are the ones that are just a little bit close as well. No nades, unfortunately, it looks like. Otherwise, we'll probably be checking some damage with that, trying to toss it in through the windows. So it looks like with this Caustic, Team Intel might be able to finish it off. We'll see what gets forced out first. A lot of zone control coming out from 6 as he has a lot of the corridors and doors locked down with those barrels currently. And if he needs to mid-fight, he can pick these up, the ones that are close to him, to throw them in as well. He's got one in the back pocket. He has a Nox Gas grenade. Team Intel have the full Wombo combo. It's all about finding the right time to throw it down.
Yeah, it's going to be a brutal, slow closing of this zone here, too. And now 6 is doing the right thing, getting aggressive, just popping his barrels all over the place. Into the window is an extreme nuisance. And the timing of this grenade is so crucial, but also this initial damage is big too. That's why he's just trying to do everything he can through this window. He's not going to end up chucking his Nox Gas grenade in there. That would be an absolute grief, but you want to save it as long as possible. Any type of damage is huge, and Panders realizes that he backs down. He's not going to end up hitting a battery. He's just hitting cells. So anytime you could back someone off the fight, the key is not taking damage exactly when the ring is going to close to your back. So they'll sit there and poke back and forth, but eventually everyone's going to start planning how they use their utility, including that Wraith.
Yeah, that was the last-ditch port coming out from Cooler, as it doesn't really go far. It just goes to the outside of the building, and they're trying to play this one out. Might buy them enough time, forcing Noko Squad to go down first. Here comes the black hole and lands right on top of 6, and 6 is the one that has the Nox Gas grenade. He might actually fall before he can even use it here, as they are throwing in everything. 6 was not able to use that Nox Gas grenade. Panders takes the hide, is able to get the knock onto Noko Squad, but it's still the final 3 teams remaining here, as Metro now taking ring damage, takes to the skies with the gravity lift here. We'll try and heal up throughout all of this, cosplaying as a Horizon, as Noko Squad, it's Tanner up. He's gonna use that Q to try and delay for as long as possible, Tanner, and they take the victory.
Tanner slays on the Wraith, hitting the Q, fully healthy, watching the fight go down. Unfortunate for Team Intel, Cooler just well-timed, well-organized, hits him with the black hole. They didn't need the caustic ult. It was a bunch of arc stars that forced them out of the zone, and they just burned that round 6 zone, which just eats you alive. But what a play from Tanner, coming through, realizing the situation, perfectly timed Q, staying alive, still had 200 HP. Team Noko Puffs with their first win in Series E.
All right, congratulations, Team Noko Puffs, taking that victory. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, we'll have game number 5.
Alright, scan them, rollers. 3 on skins, 3 on skin. Push them, push right now, push right now.
Bloodhound's one shot, Bloodhound's one shot.
Bloodhound's super weak.
Nice. Focus give, focus give.
Throw on bubble. Play my bubble, play my bubble.
I'm down, I'm down. Last one. It's all you, dupe. You get this every time.
2 pumped them.
Let's
Good
go.
stuff, boys. Easy dub. Easy dub. Easy dub.
Hey, what's up? My name's Daves.
My name's Duke.
My name is Rollers.
I play Apex Legends
for Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks, and you're watching
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, AppleJacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws, they're Jumbo. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. Cereal, magnified, showing up for snacking time. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. It's Jumbo, it's for snacking. It's Jumbo Snacks.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach. Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Shake it, kiddo.
Love Dad. Oh.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love when it's needed.
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind and shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E. We just had game number 4. It's been 2 solid games for Team Intel in a row, but it was Team No Cocoa Puffs that finished that one off. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard to see where everyone stands. CLG currently in first place, but not by much. Cooler have been able to continually get into the end game here. Now they have 49 points, 1 point behind them. Team Intel tied for third place with Third Impact, 34 points each, and Team Pop-Tarts are in the running with Team Sentinels as well. Still, though, 2 games left to go. Anything can happen.
Come on, Team AppleJacks. It's your week. You cannot get last place. They are getting Team Apple smacked right now. You got to go jumbo snack size on everybody in this lobby, guys. 6 points, not going to cut it. Going to need more. Same with the rest of these guys on the bottom. Team Cheez-It Rice Krispie Treats. Let's get it going. CLG Cooler, obviously, probably some of our more consistent teams that we have in Series E. It's nice to see Team Intel bounce back. We were talking about that. But whenever Team Cheez-It is doing well, you can expect Team Intel to be doing bad. Whenever Team Intel is doing well, you can expect Cheez-It to be doing bad as well. And that's just how the 50-50s have been going over towards the Lava City side. But what a job by Team Intel coming through and just getting some momentum for the first time. We thought they were going to be struggling after week 1, but they're bouncing back here strong on our pro day in week number 2. Let's take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment from game number 4.
Yeah, and it was just the final here. You can see Cooler set up to try for victory. They want to try and delay their push out of this building as long as possible, but then you have the gravity lift going down as 6 just gets focused down. The ring closes just in time to finish him off. Never mind, it was actually an arc star from Yuki that takes him out there, and they're never able to get the full wombo combo. You have the delayed defensive bombardment going down as well. Panders against the knock on to Noko, but ultimately they took too much damage here, and you saw Tanner doing a great job of delaying with that Wraith. I mean, we don't really get to see that as often anymore, the Wraith just going into the queue to try and delay throughout all that, but he allows the squads to finish each other off, and then here it is, the ending.
Yeah, people are kind of underrating the fact that you could think you could play Horizon and the Wombo combo is great, but this zone burns big time, and we're seeing this happen just like we saw it in previous seasons where we even saw Race used to take their own portal back and forth, but thank God they've come out with the update where you can't have a portal in the zone, otherwise it disappears after 6 seconds. So a really heads-up play from Tanner, who's an experienced player, and comes through, plays in a lot of different community tournaments, doesn't actually compete in the ALGS, but still has the presence of mind with so much going on. I mean, we saw nades everywhere, caustic gas, defensive bombardment, bubbles, and a Horizon queue. The timing was perfect for everybody. Everybody played that the right way. Cooler especially zoned out Team Intel very well, but it's all about just making sure you don't take zone damage, because you see just one tick will completely rip you apart.
Yeah, it looked like Panders tried to throw down that thermite, and it might have been unfortunate. It goes right into the gravity lift, and so he doesn't get that additional damage down. So that's an interaction that you do have to be wary of all this time. But, you have to, when we go into game number 5, here we go. Joining on board with CLG, 2 games left to go. It's currently CLG now, dropping over at Skyhook. And, we talked about it, Zach Mazer coming in, filling, and he's doing a fantastic job with the squad. Doesn't look like really they've skipped a beat there.
Yeah, not at all. And Zach has a very aggressive playstyle similar to Madness. It's just interesting that they're able to do so well with different play calls going on, because you would think that the roster shuffle would mean a pretty big deal when your Wraith ends up being your IGL most of the times as well. So it's been a great adaptation that they've had throughout all of this. And also when you go over towards Skyhook and get a lot of loot like CLG's gotten the respect for, you always tend to do really well as well. So the rotations are going to be fairly common. This backside is completely zooted. You get all the loot you need.
Yeah. Havoc along with the EVA 8 for Vaxlon. No armor quite yet, but that was just the roof of his building. NPL versus Navi. NPL just full send on to them here, but Strafe, is able to pick up one. NPL bring this down to a 1v2 now as the scan comes out, but you always have to be wary of the third party. Will it be this quickly, though? Dracos is trying his best to get a finish off with the melees. It's for the 47, does Ronnie. Now he backs away for the reload as Dracos will go for the peek on the left side. It's on the right, and Ronnie will be able to finish off Navi, and they secure the +3. They'll be able to get the res onto Bambino. It's just about the timing. Will there be a third party? Hold that for a moment as we join on board with the Intel versus Cheez-It fight. They've already gotten 2 down. It's all up to Prodigy Aces, I believe. Does go for the peek out. Panders was going for the loot, and he gets punished for that. Prodigy Aces tries to push up. They go for the peek out, but oh no, Panders' body is going to stop them from trying to go for the peek. Now the bubble is gone though, and 6 does fully heal up. It's going to be the double swing on out, and Prodigy Aces goes down. Team Intel take the 50-50, 3 games in a row now.
Nice job by Team Intel, just continuing that momentum right there. Let's take a look at someone that has scanned for us and find out where this zone is going to be as Team Rockstar continues their fighting over here. Ping going on the back side of this building, which we've seen a lot of fun zones end back here. Haven't seen one in a while, but they've spotted someone out, and he looks to be by himself as Pickett's following the footsteps. Got the set very fresh. You can tell exactly where that player is going, especially now that that bubble's down, and this player isn't going to last much longer.
Yeah, it's going to be the remnants of NPL here. As we were saying, the third party you have to worry about in a Rockstar or a team that do quickly adjust to these kinds of play styles. When they see the 50-50s, they come in for the to take advantage of it, and they're going to benefit from that. Crummy and Matt Pickett already on purple armors. Tech is the only one sitting on a white for now, but they should be able to get that changed up very shortly here. They just need to find the rest of the squad. We're already down to 18 teams here. As TSM give us that information for the ring, it is pulling up here towards Epicenter / Refinery. The scan comes out, and Imperial Hell has been caught out. Excuse me. He's pushing up to the high. Reps getting shot at along with Snipe Down, but they have reformed. Now they're going to try and challenge the roof here, as Reps will peek out from the right, but instead they're happy, it looks like, with just gaining control over this roof building, over this side of the roof at least, and they can coexist for now.
Yeah, this is going to be fine, and you can see how fast TSM, once they realize that they're in position to go and take a priority spot in zone, that they get out of there and pick their spot. This team looks like they're going to rotate all the way over towards that toilet bowl / donut, whatever you want to call it, but this is very common to happen over towards the Refinery side. Same with Sorting Factory, but even more so on Refinery, as we see another fight happening between Rockstar, finishing off the rest of Ronnie, not letting him rat it out in that type of instance, and little armor swap there for Crummy when he gets back up, make things just a little bit easier as Tech slides down the hill like Rambo and sticks his nose in some free loot there. And nice job by Rockstar. Like you said, very good adaptation to come through and kind of figure out the way that things are going, as it looks like Dracos may be able to get the banner here. He's going to be ratting this out just a little bit on the Tomcat Rat Cam. Most likely going to go for that one in about 20 to 30 seconds. I'm not sure if he's going to get it, but let's go ahead and switch through and see what's up with this map and where the rest of these teams are going to be. Yes, third impact over towards Refinery, and that's exactly what we want to see. How many teams are actually coexisting and setting up over towards that Refinery area? Looks like everyone's taking this pretty seriously. Well, it's been a couple of quick kills and quick fights on the 50-50s. Everybody getting to good positions here.
Yeah, we got third impact Pop-Tarts, TSM, all pulling into Refinery, trying to have a great building to control. This is one of those end zones where if you do find yourself if you do find a good spot, you can still play for that early game, mid game, pick off potential, try to get some kills as teams are rotating in, because that hill is definitely a hill that you will die on. As the scan comes out, one side of the toilet bowl, like you said, Jazz spots that one out. He only gets 2 on the scan, though, so that makes them a little bit wary. And you see the bubble being used as well from a team rotating in all the way to the northern side right now. It's Rice Krispie Treats, though, who are rotating through, as you do have a small connect out from that nade. Here comes another one from Stunny, as the pings are going down. It's a big crossfire, so he's a little bit hesitant to try and push up, but he is looking for his angle to try and get in now in the front line with that Wraith. He spots one out, gets the ping, and that team is out of there. How determined are Rice Krispie Treats going to be in trying to find this squad?
Looks like they're pretty desperate, to be honest. But then they realize that the more we shoot and the less we connect, the more likely someone's going to come into this building directly behind us. So we have to back off, think about how we're going to continue to advance and gatekeep this player just a little bit later. As Team Razor, do they realize that a team is inside on the second level right now? They don't have a horizon to go and take this high ground. It's going to be difficult to go and try to take this fight. So it's more of just a scouting tactic coming in from Zeratricky to see if they could rotate. Instead, they're going to be stuck on this high ground, which isn't that bad of a spot. We see a lot of teams win from this situation, but once the zone moves over towards Refinery, you're going to have about 7 or 8 teams, just like a firing squad, waiting for you to make your way down the hill.
Armasoft's going out as well. Muffins, he is the one with the charge rifle, so he should be the one trying to focus on getting the damage up, and he will watch the back as well. And they have their information on the ring, and they have elected to just play on the rocks for the time being. Intel rotating their way through. Geyser have found themselves in a fight as Six has to back away. He will throw down the barrel to cover that door, as it's just Panders by himself. He's getting hit by Metro's defensive bombardment, and so they're waiting for that one to go down. And looks like the crossfire is being set up. Another team is getting involved in this fight as well. And now Intel are on the back foot. They have to be careful. They've got no armor to work with. You see the bats getting popped by everyone right now as Panders is in a fight. But Six and Metro will be able to stick their bats as they do get naded out now. Six cracked once again. And it's going to be Six to go down first as Panders and Metro are now going to have to fight it out in the ring. They take the gravity lift to get onto the roof. It was 303 coming in for the challenge now as Metro will heal up once again. Panders is forced to syringe. He needs to as the ring is ticking away on him. It's going to be Noko squad on the other side, but they're getting third party from the team coming in from the choke right now. Noko, be careful. His bull has already been used and he does slide back to the rest of his squad and hasn't been punished. For the time being, it looks like with the amount of teams in the area, things have slowed down as no one really wants to full commit and throw into a third party, and so Noko's squad will go ahead and back away off this fight.
Yeah, Tanner electing to hit a battery there because they realize how important the rotation is now that teams are gatekeeping, and if they can't get up over towards this ledge, walking up there is extremely difficult. So that's some nice movement there coming in from Team Noko Puffs, realizing the situation that you can't just fight that uphill battle. It's one of the more brutal fights to go and decide that you want to go and take. Team Liquid holding a spot that we see CLG and TSM hold down fairly often. They come through in this backhand rotation here as Tanner actually gets a knock somehow with the charge rifle onto Senox. So goes from being in shambles and having to fight uphill to going to a knock. That's the type of rotation that can pay off for you as Team Liquid now spots a team out over towards this train cart. That is CLG. We just said how CLG, TSM, and a lot of other teams go over here, and that's going to be the finish onto Hal. So TSM actually is in the vicinity too from all the way over on the Refinery side. So now Team Liquid starting to pinch since they were playing the edge. That's going to be a bubble coming in from Hodstick. Flanker's going to have to heal. But this is a tough rotation. They may not be able to force their way into this.
Yeah, the port is going to come out. They're going to go into survey camp instead. There's just too much open ground, too much resistance for them, so they will avoid this fight for the time being. But oh boy, a lot of damage going down onto Nocturnal. They've already used the bubble as well. It's going to be Muffins with that charge rifle, but luckily for him, he's in a small corner here. They'll try to utilize the knock shield and buy as much time as possible, and after it goes down, they'll probably just body block. But the res does come out. They will be able to get him up. They don't even need to use the bubble for that. Do Reezer try to get aggressive off of this? The scans from Flinker are keeping them at bay for the time being. The counter scans, though, giving away all their positions for now. They're trying their best to heal up. They get underneath this bridge. They will have a moment of reprieve, but there's only 30 seconds left. Sentinels were able to recover themselves as they were pushing out from this choke. They've got a squad that looks like pinned down. Great nade hitting for the 79 now as he wants to get aggressive. Here comes Retzi pushing right into the bubble against all three of them. They're just watching on as Sentinels just ape right on top of them. Somehow not taking out that Wraith. Tanner will go down. Crust falls for his efforts, but it's going to be a 1v2 that Sentinels ultimately end up winning. And they will get the res onto Crust just in time as the ring will start closing in.
That bubble just slowly made its way, or that grenade slowly made its way underneath the bubble right there and has completely changed that fight around. What a job there from Team Sentinels, taking out our winners from game number 4. Now Team Pop Darts, who's been the team that's locking down this little donut toilet bowl area, has Another team that's above them, that's very common as well to be coexisting over here because the zones end here quite often, to be honest with you. So you see portal being popped, but most likely not going to be used, as they're just going to be using those scans back and forth, running around, making sure that they just check each door, keeping their head on a swivel. So while this spot is nice, a lot of times this is a former Watson meta, as it looks like a failed kidnap attempt is going to come through. But a lot of times you see the Watson generator in the corner right where those boxes are, and there's fences all over the place. So this spot is a lot easier to hold. So Pop-Tarts, you could see the kind of struggle that they're going through right now.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts, they did take a lot of damage there. Impulse was able to survive, though, with about 2 HP. No, really, it's for the saving grace of every other squad around them, keeping other teams at bay. Otherwise, damage like that, a squad would send it on to them. But you do have to play, of course, for the late game. There's still 14 squads remaining, 39 players left in the lobby. As round number 2 finishes closing, we'll have an idea of where this ring pulls now, but it should continue to pull on over. No, it starts pulling away from Refinery. We do have the yellow tanks that are still in, and so that could be a final endgame circle. Team Razor now looks like they're porting in and want to get aggressive. This might be Team Liquid that's ahead of them here. Let's see, of course, Muffins get the knock earlier on. As they push in for a building, and they don't find anyone. So looks like really not getting much off of it, but of course they use that port so they can retake the high ground if they want to.
They're predicting a survey ending, so everybody is completely fooled by this one. Setting up over towards Refinery, we saw about 6-7 teams coexisting in the buildings, and now the big brain rotation coming in from Team Razor is they are one of the first teams to make their way into those buildings. But now, since the zone is moving, everybody freaking out and realizing that they got to go and make the move. 303 comes through with the sound cues and realizes that that's another scan and a grenade that just gets ran right through coming in for Paradise. Pops the battery behind that cooling vent, and the rest of his team going to follow this one up. Beast of the Hunt being popped from Bambino. That's going to be a scan for ASCII to come through and lay down some damage with the Massive, which he does. This is a fellow Amiya team with third impact on the other end. The receiving end of this fight coming in as 303 does have the 2 versus 1 advantage right now. Will they go for the res or will they go for the finish? Looks like they're trying to punch him up the stairs. Just which stair does he want to go up? Looks like the left side here, and the res will come out from Bambino.
Yeah, the third party was waiting to try and come in for this, the nades to block off that entrance, and so they will be able to get ASCII up just in time as well. He'll be able to get the full heal, and they do have this building to play off of. So now down to 13 squads, we have 37 players. ASCII gets the full heal off, and they do have full roof control, as well do 303. Wondering where teams like TSM are currently playing right now. We did see they had an angle to shoot at that CLG Liquid fight that took place to the north, and here it is. TSM have decided to push all the way up to the compound on the north side. They have control over all these buildings. Doritos, the car, along with this 2-story now, is Hal going to use this height to great effect. He's got that G7 Scout, but he's running out of light ammo. Imagine that.
Yeah, Hal running out of light ammo. Well, it's a little bit more conservative when you have the Scout single fire instead of the R9, which we're used to seeing him rip across the map, and the R3 as well. But Team Liquid's still on this one, picking up some kills over towards the side. Look at all the teams that are over towards Epicenter, still having to rotate over towards the top of the hill. That could be a lot of kill opportunities, or just a bunch of teams griefing each other and ending up with a rat. As it looks like Snipe Down wanted to get aggressive with some sort of play, but he's going to back off with the Q and just wanted to kind of scout out exactly what was going down over towards the bottom hand side, as it looks like Nocturnal finishes off Senox there with the R301. But here's the teams over towards Epicenter. This is going to be absolutely brutal. This round does close, but as this one moves, all of these teams are going to fight, and then the teams on top of the hill are getting all the kills and all the loot.
Yeah, Team Intel have a squad that are still pinned down inside the tower right now. They have to worry about getting shot from the high ground to the north and northeast of them as well as the scans come out. Intel, they're not running a Recon Legend. They're not running a Bloodhound. And so it's hard to try and push that team that's inside the tower, even though, of course, there's really just that one angle right now. Do they have the utility? Do they have the extra barrels to try and toss in to slowly choke them out? Looks like they are pretty intent now of finishing off this squad as they're currently setting up for it. Pander's looking for the flank. Metro and 6 might push up from the front. There's a barrel that catches out Panders, and you saw the instant pivot from that squad. We have to check our flank. They send 2 people back there, even throw down a thermite to cover off that angle. the damage marker going down onto Panders. Keeps that Bloodhound watching the back for now, but as that dissipates, it looks like he will find his opportunity to try and peek in. Shoots in with the Eva 8, but the squad has ported out. So Team Intel, we're not able to find the timings on this.
I thought he was going to grab lift in there. That would have been hilarious. Then those players wouldn't have been able to take the portal, but they do find another player that was coming down, sliding through as they get some help from Team Pringles. But again, these teams have to rotate. So the longer they sit there, the more likely they are all to die here. And they're just kind of trying to go out with as many kill points as possible, as Team Pringles has been a team that loves to get to the end game. But now they make their move as AppleJacks, they're going to go down over towards 303. 303 continues to be a force to be reckoned with over towards the refinery side, but it doesn't bounce back to Survey. It bounces back over towards the refinery. So the teams like TSM are going to be rewarded for their patience over towards that side.
Yeah, TSM, I like the fact that they took the compound instead of trying to play the yellow tanks. It's not as easy of a position to play when you don't have that Watson. But here it is, Team Intel with Pringles getting losing a member here. They're going to be able to push up this hill, looks like, for relatively free. And we do have the black hole, but it is dodged out as they slide away from this one. Bubble has been used by Metro here, but he's taking a ton of damage. And right now, they haven't been able to find a kill quite yet. Panda's going to start taking ring damage here. He doesn't have the gravity lift, but he's going to go ahead and climb up instead, taking some additional damage now. They have to continue to push in with the zone as well. Metro goes down to the ring. They're just blind rotating into another squad. There is the Nox gas grenade pushing out. They do have the massive 66. Almost gets the knock, and there we go. We'll be able to finish off the Gibraltar. Is it in time? 6 is able to get it, and Pander stays alive. But for how long? He hits top 10 for his squad, so he'll get the additional placement points, but they are out. Throughout all of that, TSM have been able to find some points, as well as Season for the team that are playing underneath the yellow tanks.
Nice job by Season. This is the moment they've been waiting for. Those teams to be sliding down the hill. Unfortunately for them, it wasn't as many players as it could have been because they all just brutally were taken out by 6 over towards the side. It was doing serious damage with the gas grenade and also switching on over to both of his weapons right there. But SCN now, Kenny's going to have to do something with his drone. It's really about gathering information as TSM just got done wiping things up over towards this house, but I would love to see Kenny utilize his EMP like he did before. I think that we've seen Kenny do some really great plays where they wait for the bubbles to go away, then they utilize that, then the EMP comes through, they wait for the defensive bombardment to land at the same time, and all these players take a ton of damage as we have a double Tomcat Rat Camp.
Yeah, it's going to be Dracos and Blueberry Smalls for Lonely Fence, but here's the fight. Team Pringles getting pushed now by 303, but Pringles get the first frag. Bambino to go down. Never mind, it's a 1-for-1 exchange. It's down to a 1v2 as Fury will fall. 303 finally will bleed here as they do get scanned out by a drone, but it doesn't look like any team is right up to the challenge to try and push them on the high ground. Now 7 squads, 17 players remaining as the zone will start closing in. What is the play for 303? They might have to play for the yellow silos there. Really nowhere else for them to try to play off of. We saw Season holding the bottom of it, but here's Team Liquid. They've got the angle to actually look in on that for the time being. We'll see how long Flinker tries to hold on to this angle as they try to focus out this Horizon, who's caught out in the middle of nowhere, uses that black hole as well, and they will be able to finish off Dracos. Now Flinker has to rejoin the squad. He will use that Beast of the Hunt, have that extra movement speed as well as he throws in the scans, and Liquid found a nice little corner with the rocks over here, and it looks like this is what 303 has done as well. They've pushed on to the yellow barrels. Here comes the scan, and Flinker drops down to get some cover behind this rock, but he is getting tagged up. Liquid not able to heal up. Flinker really low. They throw down the defensive bombardment along with the bubble here, but 303 will back away, and now they're getting jumped upon by Season, and Season get the knock onto Pyrodise. Aski tries to find the flank angle, but that one's going to take too long. He's going to take so much ring damage throughout all of this. You see Season finish off 303. TSM. They're now here on the compound. The ring does pull pretty far from them, but this is the final slow ring, by the way, as Liquid were able to survive that barrage.
I like that aggressive play from Snipetown and the good help from Reps over his shoulder, but when you look at it from Hal's point of view, it looks like he's just a little bit overextended, so I wouldn't be surprised if Snipetown had to queue back over towards his team, as we have 5 teams and still some rats around here somewhere, as Team Pop-Tarts is elected to take inside the blue trailer. We know where TSM is. We know where Liquid is. And there's one of the rats that gets eliminated. That is the final rat. That's going to be Blueberry Smalls.
Yeah. So Pop-Tarts, Liquid, we got Season, and TSM. It's going to be a 3v3v3v3, and it's almost like 4 corners here. Each corner, well, you know what I mean. Each direction of the ring currently occupied by a squad right now. You were talking about Kenny with that EMP. He could just absolutely grief a team. If the team notices the EMP go out, you'll see defensive bombardments going down on that area as well. Right now, though, they are getting aggressive onto Liquid as Stomps gets the knock onto Hotzik there. And Season are going to try and take advantage of that. They have the numbers advantage. They take out Flanker, and they just need to take out one more, but slow playing this as Pop-Tarts get pushed by TSM. Impulse is the only one alive. He wants to try and get this thirst now, and that is one of TSM down. That's Snipe down. That is bleeding out, and Season are taking advantage of this in the final 3v2. They have them pinned into a corner here. Rambo's the one that goes for the peek with the arm shield, and he will try to push out, but they could just bide their time now, back off, let the ring do their work for them, and Season will take game number 5.
Nicely executed from Season. They come through taking one of the priority spots over towards Refinery, but it was just really timed aggression and then backing off when they needed to allow Pop-Tarts to get aggressed on by a TSM, and they come through completely healthy and collapse TSM inside of that area where they just got done finishing the fight. Another one of our partnered teams coming through.
All right, so that's game number 5. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, it'll be the final game of the evening. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
When is a good time to eat jumbo snacks?
Where do I think is a good place to be eating AppleJacks jumbo snacks?
Where are good places to eat AppleJacks?
On a walk?
In the Uber.
When you're skateboarding.
In the library.
On a scooter.
Kings Canyon and World's Edge when you get sent back to the lobby by Team AppleJacks.
On the bus.
At the mall. At your parents' house. At the park. Getting your oil changed.
When you pass Jump Master to your teammates and let them fly in for you, because that's what I always do.
At the bank. On the streets. At the dog park.
A magic carpet. An Uber. A bus ride.
At the farm. In your barn.
When I'm landing on Team Rockstar, because I only need one hand to take them out.
Tree's a good spot because you get sent back to the lobby from us.
Little Timmy wants to land at Tree and just gets sent back to the lobby immediately. Probably going to go rush to his mommy to get some AppleJacks. So,
in a parking lot, at your brother's birthday party, at your own birthday party, breakfast, lunch, dinner, eat them anywhere.
Hey, what's up? My name's Daves.
My name's Duke.
My name's Rolders.
I play Apex Legends
for Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks, and you're watching
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
Stack Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people?
Hardly anything. Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen, and I didn't listen. Stack Pringles. Make endless new flavors. Stacking Pringles to make new flavors. Make endless new flavors. Barbecue, wavy, and sour cream, and onion equals a 3-layer dip.
Hey, what's up? I'm Aves. I play for Team AppleJacks and Apex Legends, and we hit all of our shots. That's how we do things. These are actually pretty good. I've never had these before. Hey, what's up? My name's Daves.
My name's Duke.
My name is Rolders
I play Apex Legends
for Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks, and you're watching
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
All right, welcome back to Series E as we are getting ready to head into the final game of the evening here for Pro Night during AppleJacks week. So let's go ahead and check in with the Mobile One leaderboard to see. It's a very tight race. Between the top 5 squads, there's only an 11-point difference, Tom.
Yeah, all these teams on the left-hand side really stand a chance going down to probably about Sentinels right around that top 8 area, because if you just bust out a 15 to 20 point game, which is completely feasible, you're going to find yourself possibly at that top of that leaderboard there. But let's talk about some of our partnered teams. Team Intel, Team Pop-Tarts coming through with some of their stronger performances, and it's nice to see them really kind of showing up on the Pro Day. I think that's a testament to them kind of rising up to the competition, and it's been pretty consistent games overall from them too.
Yeah, and for a lot of our squads that are trying to be active in the early game, they've been getting punished quite frequently. Team Razor, Team Pringles, and Team Rockstar, you see there in 14th, 15th, and 16th position right now. Haven't been able to get much going. These early 50-50 fights and also early game pushes to try and take advantage of third parties have been punishing them so far. We'll see what kind of pivot they make in the final game to have a better performance here. We have to remember that every game still does matter. Heading into the Mobile One high performance moment of match number 5. Let's go ahead and take a look at it here. It's probably the final one, and here it is. Yeah, Team Season. They realize that Team Liquid are their biggest threat, focused on that, and luckily for them, Pop-Tart stomps, gets that knock onto Hotza, giving them the mad advantage. Throughout all of this, though, Pop-Tart starts getting pushed by TSM, and so CSN are able to take this isolated fight. They take almost no damage through that, Tom.
Yeah, and the key is realize how they back off there, because when you hear all the sound cues for TSM, you really figure that the rest of that team is going to continue to full send it, but they go and let the rest of the other players do the work, come back around, and then scoop in onto TSM as that zone's closing. And there's basically nothing that TSM could do besides fully charge out there. And you're trying to stay in there, get armor swaps, take angles, how you typically fight. You don't realize that zone actually is closing and there's nowhere to go. It'll rip you apart absolutely immediately. So Season recognizes that. They just back off over towards the dome and it's free from there. So a really nice job from Season. And this is one of our teams that's another very underrated squad. So we'll see if these partnered teams can keep up. Right now, for the partnered teams, it's up to Pop-Tarts and Intel to kind of carry the torch.
Yeah, and like you said, there's still an opportunity, even if you're in that 30, 40-point range, to really try and come back. There's a lot of things, though, that have to go right. You need the top teams to go down early. You also need a frag out, and we have seen teams do that, and specifically within that range, it's going to be Team Sentinels. They had a strong game number 1. And then from there, they weren't able to find the same kind of momentum they had when we had that thermal station ending. They were able to just full send on fights left and right. But this time around, they are not finding the same kind of engagements. But we know in game number 6, teams like Sentinels can go absolutely off to flip the leaderboard.
All right, what are the chances we're going to see Octane and Revenant this round, just for someone that wants to go in grief? Or possibly we see something like Rockstar yesterday where they just go and send it over towards Sorting Factory because they don't like something that someone said in the chat before this game started or something along those lines. So game 6 is always the most interesting. We'll find out. But there's so many teams that are still in this one that half the lobby is going to be playing very reserved and normal, I guess you would say. The other half most likely going to be full sending it.
Here we go, joining on board with Team Intel. As you can see, Team Cheeza dropping down below, and this has kind of been the change in how things are going. They are now just full challenging them for the buildings instead. Beforehand, you had both teams kind of just have that line of demarcation down the middle. There's the western side of lava, they had the eastern side of lava, and they would split that and then start fighting. But Intel now have been taking the fight to them, and it has been working out for them. When Cheez-It are for the time to slow down these fights, they have been winning it out, but now Intel are trying to keep the momentum on top, and now they are full pushing into the second floor as Pander's N6 is taking a lot of damage. Metro right into the gas, has to throw down that bubble, and things are already in the fire for Team Intel. It's a 1v3 as 6 gets chased down, and Team Cheez-It will put a stop to Team Intel.
Looks like Team Cheez-It has the last laugh and also the last teabag, I guess, coming through as we see what's going on with the zone. NPL looting up over towards the train side, which we know is not the best loot, so I don't expect them to be running around with any purple or gold armor. Is most likely going to be gray and 1 blue if they're lucky, but see if they can get some attachments along the way. And that's what we were anticipating, that fight over there, especially another one happening possibly over here towards the train side, because we know they've been fighting with, I believe,
Navi.
It was team, Navi, but also it looks like this is going to be Team Rice Krispie Treats.
Oh, they got the knock and the thirst onto Casper. Yeah, they were dropping over at Lava Fissure, but they have changed things up for the final game here. As the rest of the push comes out from Rice Krispie Treats, the bubble has been used. Bambino playing around his angles. His teammates in the back trying to full heal up, but it doesn't look like Ronnie has any health heals as the chase does come out from that squad. You still have to be careful, though. Third party can come out from the Countdown squad, from the Lava Fissure squad, as Dracos will go ahead and use that gravity lift to try and get an angle on the man in stairs. Does some decent damage, but he has taken a lot as well as he falls to the ground. Ronnie using the gravity lift to take out Stunny, and now it's just one final member remaining here for Rice Krispie Treats as Bambino goes down to Bird, but Ronnie and Dracos are there for the double peak, and they will be able to finish him off and get the rest onto Bambino. We're already down to 18 squads and 54 players remaining.
This is pretty typical here, and it's going to continue to be a very fast-paced game. It was well executed, and there's a third party coming through as expected. Lonely Fans without any good armors coming through, not even carrying. He's like, oh, blue. Anyone want this one? We're basically in shambles over here, as it looks like Kenny's going to get a knock on Dracos too. So this is the action that we're anticipating, and it continues to prove to be the play as Ronnie now, guess what? Going to be in Rap Boy Ronnie cam here very shortly. Oh, never mind.
Ooh, just the death cam as Blueberry Smalls picks that one up, and Stanky will finish him off. So it's Bambino, each member of the squad having their opportunity to try and rat out for points in this game. And there we have it, the ring pulling on up towards the northern side of the map, going over to the train platform northwest of Fragment West. So you can see the pings are going down from every squad right now. That platform is the position you want to play off of more often than not, or the buildings just to the west of it. But it's Team Rockstar now in a fight. They have pushed Navi. They've already gone the thirst onto Nesh as well. The Beast of the Hunt is here for Matt Pickett. He'll have the scans. He walks right into a nade and is forced to bat up. During all that, Tech takes a lot of damage. Crummy will slow things down as well, popping the syringe as Navi are just full sending it onto them. He now might have an angle onto one as Tech gets challenged on the stairs. Strafe is there, and oh boy, Matt Pickett has picked the wrong time to go for the peak. Now as he goes for the repeat, does get the knock on to Strafey, bringing it down to a 1v2, and they finish it off. Rockstar again, taking advantage of this Lava Fissure position. This time around, though, it wasn't a 50-50 they took advantage. It was just a full 3v3 they won out. Now Season making their rotation in. As you can see, they're trying to ride along the ridge line. They're going to go ahead and use that port to go from cover to cover, and Kenny needs the full heal.
Yeah, you can see the teams that are starting to set up for the zone, too. TSM was one of them. I wonder exactly what priority spot is going to be taken by some of these teams. We know the Beacon building is always pretty good. That blue trailer is always pretty good too. And that's exactly what Season's trying to make their way through. But all these teams at Fragment are being absolutely annoying. And it looks like TSM is likely to take a little bit more of an aggressive approach. We've seen this before, playing the Epicenter Hill. Looking for a lot of different kills. Snipe Down takes a lot of damage, though. That's Hackilo with the Spitfire. We don't know what type of range that was, but Zeratricky's there with the flatline to finish it off. And the rest of TSM looks like they're getting hunted down.
Yeah, it's going to be the full push now as the Beast of the Hunt is there for Zeratricky, allowing him to cover that ground even faster. One caught out in the distance. No shots connecting there for Zeratricky. He does have one below him as well, but they do not want to give up the high ground, so they do not get thirsty. They do not chase after them. Defensive bombardment on top of them as well, so they need to go for the full reset. Going down one of their own. The bubble gets used early as well as Muffins tries to swing to the right to get a peek, and Zeratricky and Hackilo take so much damage throughout all of this. And now it's just Muffins, who is the healthiest, who needs to hold the defensive line for his team. As the squad comes in for this full swing, Narc Stars do come out, but doing a good job of just peeking whenever they get the heals off. Muffins now has to heal up himself, but they have no more defensive cooldown. The third impact there is Hakulo with only about 5 HP left. He's trying his best to survive throughout all of this. He's only got the white knockdown shields as well, so they won't even last that long, but long enough for him to get the heal. As Pop-Tarts came in for the third party, they got the knock on to Jazz. There might be an opportunity here for Hakulo to port his team out of danger, but not before the thirst come out. Will he be able to recover Muffins throughout all of this? Muffins is getting finished off, and Hakulo, right into a full squad himself, takes so much damage. It's going to be third impact and reps to finish him off.
With the beak, hit him with the beak. We're talking about the beak with the hammer points, how it's been a little bit more consistent than the Mastiff, and looks like Reps is going to do that one with the Scout 2-4X. So pretty interesting combo. Unfortunately for Snipe Down, he's not going to be able to get back into this one. He's going to have to be in the spectator mode, but that was fun to watch, I'm sure, as Reps just rips them apart after getting revenge for taking him down. And that scan is going to show exactly what we're predicting. That's going to be over towards that platform most likely. And you can see all the teams that are kind of conjured up in this choke is going to make things interesting. Team AppleJacks, one of those teams that are inside this train choke. Keep in mind, there's going to be teams over at Fragment waiting collapse and possibly over that choke leading from No Name too. So AppleJacks, if they were to take this fight, would probably have to take it head on. That looks like what they want to do. Dupe's going to go and lay that bubble down. The Arc Star going to come through. Aves doesn't connect, but it looks like he wants to push up and has some nice angles. Kind of matches the same exact damage that he has right there. Does have the Digi Threat if he wants to go and use that, which could be a huge advantage. If Rollers wants to hit a scan anytime soon too, that's going to be pretty useful. And that is Matt Pickett and Team Rockstar that's going down first. Aves has the armor swap there. Dupe takes some damage, but that looks like a fresh full 3-man squad coming in from behind.
They need to back off, and do they have extra smokes to cover their retreat? Oh, they are getting pinched now completely as Cooler are coming in, and Pringles to set up that sandwich there. Cooler Ranch Doritos or something, I don't even know. But here it is, Aves finally going down. Cooler picks that one up, but here it might be the next collision. Cooler versus Pringles. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and take the split, and Tech goes down to Yuki. 10 squads, 29 players remaining, and surprising fight taking place over here at the train connector of all places throughout all of this. But Cooler will be able to regain this position after full healing and pick up all of this loot.
It's been a bloodbath over towards train station. This game started with fights over there and continues to unfold on that rotation over towards the Fragment side. We were expecting pinches coming through, but not on both sides. And when you get a knock onto Matt Pickett, you wonder where the rest of the two teammates went and how is a full 3-man squad running directly towards us in that type of situation. So Sentinels, see if they're going to be able to have another big game like they did in game number 1. You see, I'm trying to dodge back and forth, taking a fight over towards the edge. This most likely is going to be a secluded fight. That's why they're going for it, but they are dodging some shots over towards the side. That's why the bubble's going to come down. That player most likely has already dipped out over towards that rock, and now they're stuck in the middle of the open. So I wouldn't be surprised if they possibly back off or even try to portal out.
Yeah, there we go. They find some more cover to work off of, but not enough as Crust gets hit from the side. And it looks like the port will be there for Retzi to get them out of danger, and just we're not able to close the distance fast enough, and so they back off for now. Still with the 10 squads remaining, and time is running out for Sentinels to try and find the game that they really need to catch back up here. Again, they had a strong game number 1, slowed down, and now they are getting challenged as the team has closed the distance. The scans coming out from either side. Retzi, despite getting scanned, goes for the peak, and that's kind of the absurdity of the way he plays at times. People can't even believe how much of an ego he has when he goes for these peaks. He does survive throughout all of that, though. Dropped down to about 10 HP, and the defensive bombardment forces them back. Beats the hunt, will get popped by Senox here, as Retzi is now trying to get that med kit off. There is the scan for him to cover the push now, but they are making their way on in. The bubble has been used, and it's the full Sentinels team pushing on to that, but Crust will fall. Taking the port back is Senox now, and Retzi will be the next to fall. It's 303, picking up 2. How much longer can Senox survive for? They should be chasing this one down. Luckily for him, he still has the Beast of the Hunt popping, giving him the additional movement speed, but now he's down to 10 HP, popping the bat, and he'll have another go at trying to run away from this one.
Yeah, but he keeps getting scanned because the counter Beast of the Hunt was there, and now with just about 55 HP, you can see the flank coming through on the right-hand side of the truck. He's already anticipating it, but it's not in enough time to get the med kit off, as Senox is going to fall to ASCII. Very aggressive play coming in from 303. And a nice job just kind of playing cat and mouse with the bait and switch over and over again between each teammate as Team Liquid's now taking over this popular train tunnel. They also have a scan for us too. So now we see exactly what they're trying to prioritize. And this could be that ending right by that big rock directly in front of them.
Yeah, pulling down to the south of this tunnel, just outside. We'll see exactly where this one pulls. We'll find out if another team can get a scan after this ring finishes up closing. But Team Liquid are playing this one a little bit slower here. They have a lot of entrances that they do have to cover. So, of course, they're playing this one cautiously. Right now, with 9 squads, 26 players remaining, that just means, of course, 1 squad currently playing it as a duo. We'll check in with that as we have a better idea. There we go. We have Team Pringles all the way in the construction building over at Frag. We have Lonely Fans and TSM. It's TSM as the duo. I forgot that Snipe Down went down earlier on. And so it's just the left to Imperial Hal and Reps to close this one out for TSM.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to do because everyone else is in such great positions right now. Longbow in the hands of Flanker with the 4 to 8x. We've seen multiple snipers being used unorthodoxly from Team Liquid. I wonder if they're prioritizing that or if it's something that they're actually just practicing overall, because the Longbow and the Sentinel could be some hidden gems if you're able to actually connect on with those, because everyone else has kind of adapted the triple take charge rifle type of meta. Now we see exactly what Team Liquid is going to be able to do eventually, but they are going to be sitting here for quite some time. So let's scroll through and see exactly where the rest of these teams are and who actually is set up. Team Pop-Tarts, one of our teams, actually our only partner team, Jamerson, that can hang in this one and possibly get the dub away from, I believe it's CLG or Cooler sitting in first and second right now.
Yeah, they do have them spotted out, making a rotation here. It's a full 3, hitting for the 45 with that anvil. Is going to be Impulses. They're wrapping very far to the north here, and Pop-Tarts aren't going to want to chase after that one. It's TSM, though, still fighting it out in Fragment East, or excuse me, Fragment West. There's a lot of squads, too, in front of them, in fact, as he's waiting to throw out that thermite just before the bubble goes down. They'll cover their retreat as they make their way into that building. Hal still peeking out and doing some damage to the team that's on the high ground just to the north of them as well, but Hal does get tagged. It was just his arm shield though, so he is still fully healthy. And TSM, this is such a troublesome spot for them as they get scanned, and they get scanned as a duo, so this team might feel brazen enough to try and make this push against them.
Possibly, we'll see. Sometimes you feel like you're scanned in at work and possibly there is a third player, so you may have to just hit it a couple times, like double checking your math, as we see what Team Noco Puffs is doing. Noco Puffs, I believe they won the 4th game overall, and they're trying to have another big performance here, but obviously a lot of these kill points have been taken away, so it's really about getting those placement points at this point and kind of advancing forward. This is going to be that ending directly in front of them, unfortunately. There's an ending directly south about 100 meters on a fence, but this is going to go more over towards the platform, so they're going to have to fight that team over towards the side. They're also going to have to deal with Team Liquid eventually over towards the east.
Yeah, it looks like they do have their option though, so they don't have to push for that cave. They can, of course, just play that valley for the time being. Pop-Tarts keeping an eye on Fragment East, or at least Lucas is. And there is an opportunity to try and pick up the kill points as teams are making the rotate. Looks like TSM might be running up this way. No, it's actually Cooler. Defensive bombardment being used by Nasky to cover this angle as they try to make their way on in early on. But with 20 seconds, the ring is going to close fairly quickly on them. They're trying to run towards the slow side, and that is working towards their benefit. They start taking some ring damage throughout all of this. Looks like they will avoid that very troublesome spot, though. I really like that call by Nasky. Make sure that they cannot shoot down on you for free. Use that utility early on instead of dying as the fight is taking place. Imperial Hal has used that defensive bombardment of his own. And oh boy, Team Pringles getting chewed and eaten alive by TSM here. Hal has his bubble to work with as well, and so they will secure those kill points along with additional placement very shortly. It looks like Cooler, though, they are getting challenged. Defensive bombardment splits them up. Dell survives with a sliver of HP as Nasky is trying to get that ultimate cell off. He's 50% away from his next defensive bombardment, but they can slow play this. They still have another minute and 40 seconds, and so they don't need to force the issue quite yet. They'll use this cover for now, slow play this. We still have 8 squads left, 2 duos, I believe, running around. TSM along with Noco's squad, as Tanner did fall throughout all of this.
Yeah, unfortunate that Tanner was getting dropped, but there's the longbow in the hands of flanker, connecting for a couple 47s overall, not hitting for the headshot quite yet. There's a nice little 55 onto the Bloodhound. And now we know where this zone is going. It's going to go behind the train tracks, behind the platform, a little bit more into the open. Comes down to Hodsick and his bubble at this point. Now we see where the map is and exactly where everybody's sitting at. And you see that platform was actually taken over by Lonely Fans as Pop-Tarts is playing the edge and clearing their back. Cooler also slow playing as they work their way over towards that slow side too. So nice job grabbing exactly where all these teams are as we start to get kind of into the meat of this game, basically, where we start to figure out who's going to win this tournament.
Yeah, Askey doing a great job of keeping an eye on that back because of pivot coming out from Team Liquid, making their way into survey. Bambino took a lot of damage. They are really trying to prioritize keeping teams out, controlling their roofs for the time being. But Pyrodise still needs to heal up. Bambino needs to heal up his health as well. And he will use that Q and port to get into safety. It's surprising there, but you know, they do have one end in the safety of the ring for the time being, but the timing is a little bit difficult to work off right now. Still though, there's plenty of cover to work with right now, which is why no teams have full committed onto a fight quite yet. Pop-Tarts might have an angle onto Cooler. We don't know exactly where Cooler ended up moving at this point. There's the scan, and I believe that is them on the other end. And so Cooler will be able to utilize a lot of this natural cover, try and get in, but oh boy, who is this caught out in the middle of nowhere? It's CLG though, making a push for the platform. They've got a squad in front of them, and it looks like it's Blueberry Smalls to go down. They'll pick that up, and they have Primo real estate here. They can play on the north side of the rocks. At this point is 303 now, trying to survive the storm. A lot of teams rotating in. We know that Liquid's here. We know another squad was just off to their east as well. High ground push as Askey climbs up. His bubble is down. He will go ahead and start popping that bat. All of 303 damaged pretty extensively. Bambino is the only one healthy here as they do survive this. Bambino comes back and takes out Liquid. They survive that for now. Team Pop-Tarts just look on without seeing the trade. They do not make the push as CLG and TSM get into a fight. The big trades, TSM go down. Pop-Tarts though, can they take advantage of this? Can Cooler take advantage of this? It looks like CLG are able to fully recover though, Tom.
This is the giant rock we were talking about. Is CLG is going to take this high ground, and it does pull over towards that spot. CLG was very silent this game. Then they poked out of nowhere, showed up on the kill feed, and say, hey guys, we've been playing this end game the entire time. Don't forget about us. So I believe this is, out of our 4 teams, 3 of these teams still in the running, if not all 4, to win this tournament.
Yeah, Cooler, CLG, and now just trying to survive each other. At this point though, CLG have put on a number of kill points, and Cooler need to keep up with pace. No, we know that they got into the fight in Train Tunnel, while CLG were able to take about 2 fights there. We have 1 kill on the board for Vaxlon. Swap between to see how many other members of the squad have. Zach has 1 himself, as Cooler looks like have been kind of keeping up pace. So this is going to be a close one. It is going to come down to just placements along with these final kills now. As 303, they're taking a lot of damage throughout this rotation here. We do have Bambino going down. That's going to be Zach Maester to pick that one up for CLG. And again, talking about how important the kill points are here. Finish this one off. Here comes the nade spam, and it connects, taking out Bambino.
Perfectly executed nade coming in from Zach Mazer as the zone starts to move. 303 gonna make their bubble play. There's the yeet of the bubble, toss it in front. Players on each side, teams on each side. As here comes the rotation coming in from CLG. They find a little bit of a rock to work with. I believe Vaxlon still has his bubble, but Lucas comes in with the rip over towards the side. Bubble res is gonna come through. Pop-Tarts sitting pretty on top of the hill, watching all of this action unfold. This could be their moment. They need to take both of these teams down and get first place in order to take over second, maybe first. That's Yuki is the last guy alive. And that's Pop-Tarts realizing the situation. Stomps picked up so many kills. Huge defensive bombardment right there.
Yeah, have CLG been able to full recover at this point? It is a full 3v3, and the res was used there, but now Pop-Tarts forced the bubble up as the defensive bombardment does come down. We have 1 covering the high ground angle here, full scan out. As all 3 members of CLG, the bubble will dissipate very shortly. Support has been used, and now Pop-Tarts, they lose out on Impulse, but he does trade 1 for 1. It's going to be a 2v2. Stomps taking a lot of damage, no armor for either of them. It's all up to Stomps now, left in this final fight, but he does not take it. It's going to be CLG to get the ultimate victory. after 6 games, they might be the winners of tonight. Congratulations, CLG, taking game number 6.
Yeah, I think that's going to be CLG's victory. The question is, did Pop-Tarts do enough by taking out Cooler there to take over the second spot? Or is it going to be CLG and Cooler taking first place and second place, which is something I think that we've seen before in Series Z. But what a job by, again, a couple of our partner teams showing up today. Team Intel, Team Pop-Tarts really impressed us this week, especially after having a lackluster week number 1.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and take a break while we tabulate all the results. When we get back, we'll announce the final winners of Pro Night here for AppleJacks week. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Already hits rollers with Team AppleJacks, and I hit all my shots. All right, I missed a few shots, but I hit all my shots in game. You can believe that. That was harder than I thought it was going to be.
Hey, what's up? My name's Daves.
My name's Duke.
My name is Rollers.
I play Apex Legends
for Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks.
Team AppleJacks, and you're watching
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, AppleJacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws, they're Jumbo.
Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Gonna take them on the go. Eat your cereal, magnified, showing up for snacking time. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Gonna take them on the go.
It's Jumbo. It's for snacking. It's Jumbo Snacks.
One shot, now the future is yours. Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true sound trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. New memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Put the bars in the brakes. I'm talking one chance to have a soul. Close for the go. It's one shot. Now the future is yours. Let's go.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Oh.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love when it's needed.
All right, welcome back to Series E, guys. We had 6 fantastic games here throughout the night for Pro Night during AppleJacks week, but let's go ahead and take a look at who the ultimate winners are in the Mobile One leaderboard. CLG will walk away with the victory, and Cooler takes second place with 63 points.
Hey, AppleJacks, you guys did it, not last place. Sorry, Navi. Love you guys, but hey, not your week today, AppleJacks. Maybe next time. You guys popped off yesterday, not today, but speaking of popping off, Pop-Tarts, phenomenal day today. I think they showed a lot of what they're going to be made of. Team Intel as well. It's going to be interesting going forward in Series E to see which teams actually perform better on the Pro Day compared to the Open Day and vice versa. But one thing's for sure, the 50-50s just aren't going to stop.
Yeah, it's going to continue. The only 50-50 that didn't take place that we were expecting was that TSM versus Cooler one. And take a look what happens when you don't fight off the rip there. Cooler performing quite well. And honestly, taking a look at our 2 top finishers, CLG and Cooler, these rosters are like some of the most consistent in ALGS. So many top finishes in ALGS, along with, of course, just here in Series E. And so this is just pure consistency coming out from these 2 teams.
Yeah, and TSM, well, they did start a little bit slow. They started to pick it up, especially when Hal switched on over to Gibraltar. He was really impressive. Let's take a look at our Mobile One high performance moment from the final match. Again, it was CLG getting the res over towards the corner, getting a little bit healthy, and then finishing off Team Pop-Tarts, who sent it off. It was a pretty even fight overall, but just a little bit too strong, and probably expecting CLG still to be a little bit weak here after that fight.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts pushing up here. Unfortunately, focusing the wrong team. Maybe if they had swung onto CLG first, they could have just finished this one off. But, having to worry about that threat now. Pop-Tarts just took too long to get the engagement there. Defensive bombardment slow down the fight as well for CLG to recover. They get the armor swaps. They get right back into the fight. And then from here, CLG just doing CLG things. So you have great cross angles here. But again, instant punish from Naughty there as Impulse tried to go for that really, really wide peak. And then with no armors left to go, Pop-Tarts just get finished off.
Yeah, and Stomps has Longbow Eva 8, probably the two worst guns to have in that situation. Maybe like Mastiff R9, Mastiff R301, and he's able to try to win that fight. But only one gun basically to be fighting with in that situation. It's just not going to happen. But overall, still a very impressive performance from Pop-Tarts. The game that they won when Lucas was able to get the team back, and I think that was Cooler and Intel duking it out, was a pretty big win for their confidence and probably their shot calling ability to be able to get into those positions and win an unorthodox game that you would typically lose, I would say 99% of the time. So that's got to be a good feeling for Team Pop-Tarts overall. But Cooler, CLG, still too consistent. They have pretty similar play styles. I love the way CLG plays, kind of a mix of both styles where they take all of these different priority spots on the map. They know how they want to go and play that, and then they end up taking the God spot perfectly at the right time while picking up some kills. It's really heads up play. But also CLG in the final game, flying under the radar until there was about 5 or 6 squads left. That's when they started to show up. They took down Team Lonely Fans, and they started to snowball from there.
Yeah, so congratulations once again, CLG and Cooler. Shout outs, of course, Zach Mazer, no stranger to Series E, of course. He's been on here to cast and compete as well, stepping in, filling in pretty big shoes for Madness and doing it almost seamlessly. So congratulations, CLG. But that's going to do it for us. So from everyone here at Series E, from all of our partners, along with Tom and myself, thank you all for tuning in. We see you guys next week once again on Tuesday for our open registration night. So make sure you set your clocks in your calendar for that. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard. But that's going to do it for us. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week and have a good weekend.